Live. That's what I'm gonna say every time we start.
Live from California, it's the Pixel Podcast. I don't know what song that
at
was.
first I thought it was the John Cena theme song.
It totally was. I realized.
Then I thought it was The Price is Right. But then,
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
That's as good.
Nothing.
That's as good as Ethan's version of the Muppet song, which is to say,
God.
it's not right
It's
at all.
awful.
It's
It's
terrible.
great. I
Anyway.
made it better.
Hello and welcome to the Pixel Podcast. My name is Matt, and I'm here with Ethan,
Hey.
also known as our official theme song provider for the podcast show.
Hit it.
Okay, and Ricardo, moving on.
Hey, how's it going?
He's also here. You know, it was good to have a theme song for a little bit. And I'm glad that we decided to do a cold open now instead. That's better. Yeah. Also, we already have music on the at the beginning of the end of the show.
Not for the stream though. We gotta
That's
do it
all-
for the stream.
But that's all Ethan anyways.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's just his voice. If you listen to this on the audio version, that's just Ethan's voice. Very impressive. I do appreciate you doing that live every week for us. On top of talking at the very beginning of the podcast too. If you missed the audio podcast for episode 185, that's because the audio got royally messed up. And if you've been listening to this on the podcast version and you're like, where's episode 185? They missed one. It's like, no, we didn't miss one. It got so messed up that like I could have spent hours and hours and hours trying to fix it. Or you can look at the stream archive, which is on our website, pixelwatches.com. So if you watch this on stream, none of that matters because you've already seen it. So hooray.
Yeah. Don't watch
you.
it again.
You can watch it again if you want. You know
No,
what? I'll
you-
take the
Nah, you really don't.
No, you start seeing all the plot holes and stuff when you watch it again.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things that's good the first time, and you're like, and you watch it again and go, oh, this hasn't aged as well.
Yeah, like
They say
The
some questionable
Prestige.
things like that.
No.
They ain't gonna fly 10 days later. You know.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing where you go, oh, you know, this was good back in the day, a week ago, but now you look at it with the modern lens, and it really doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
Standards have changed.
What is the modern lens, anyways?
It's a really
I
good indie
can't.
band.
I really can't. I can't talk about the modern lens because I will just start crying. Video games don't make me cry very often.
They
Okay.
don't.
They don't.
Very often. I cried at Nier. That was sad.
You cried at
At
it.
near.
At Nier. I cried at it. It was so. It was revenge for all the things it did to me. I have not cried during Monster Hunter World, but I did shout a bit at the screen today as I tried to get a Rathalos egg down from its nest all the way down to the thing.
That's a bad mission.
Yeah. I think I kind of glitched it at one point because like I ran the Rathalos around so many times that it just stopped chasing me at one point, and I went back to the nest and just picked up the egg and ran to the thing, and it was fine. But like it took about 4 tries before that happened. So
Yeah, it's those quests have always been bad in Monster Hunter, and they're not better in this one.
it's funny how many things Monster Hunter holds on to because we've always had it this way. Seems to be the thing for a lot of Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, those I feel like they're almost worse because in old Monster Hunter games, when you had your egg fetching quests, at least you could get out of the area and escape a monster for a decent amount of time. But now because it's a continuous world, it's like, hey, you're just not. It's never gonna leave you alone.
How many
you know?
kinds of eggs are there? Because I've got herbivore
I've never
eggs
done
and
any
I've
of
got
these eggs.
the wyvern. I've got wyvern eggs. Is that all
Those
the
are the
eggs there
only-
are?
Those are the only 2 missions I've done for it.
Okay, so hopefully there's no more eggs.
I don't know how to make my own meal at the canteen and what the benefit of that is.
I just watched a YouTube video about that, so
There's
I know everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gaijin Hunter does a whole breakdown of what
So does RX Gaming.
They
RX
tend to-
Gaming.
they tend to come out with the same kinds of videos back to back. So
Yeah.
just whichever flavor you prefer,
That's
watch
the
them
one I
both
watched.
because both those guys are great.
Basically, Ethan, the way it works is it's all about the ingredients and like meats upgrade your attack, veggies upgrade your defense. No, fish upgrade your defense. Veggies upgrade your elemental defense. And there's also beers, which do special things. Like ales do special things, like increase like the amount of like gold you'll get at the end of the quest, or increase the amount of like parts you'll get at the end of the quest. But I don't have any ales at all, so I don't know how to get those.
I just got some ales because they just appeared for me.
Yeah.
But,
and then each inside of those things, there's like 4 colors of meat and 4 colors of vegetable and 4 colors of, and that is all for whether or not it gives you certain abilities, like the feline hunter, whatever the different like
polisher.
Yeah, and if you have more of the same color inside of a meal, it will rank up that version of that tree of skill.
But but the freshness, which is when they're sparkly,
is like how likely it is to get that
to activate those abilities, because those are abilities will line up, and it's like these you might get, but you're likely not going to unless you have at least a couple stars.
But if you use a voucher, then the voucher is guaranteed to get you those abilities. So if you create your own custom menu with all your like set, but the thing is, I don't have enough meat, and I don't have enough different ingredients to really do this yet. But if you were to like optimize a perfect meal, then you use a voucher to buy it, you'll always get the ability off of it. So that's the idea. So the guy was like, I have a loot voucher, I have an attack up, I've got an attack up menu, I've got a super loot one for getting extra stuff.
I like that
I've defensive one.
I like that I spent 90 hours in this game and still have not found like that part out yet. Like, they didn't even touch that.
I was mentioning to you guys, but we're all in high rank now, and I'm the last one that just got there. And I was like, now that I'm in high rank, I'm learning how the game works. Is basically what I said. I was like, I've gone back and done all the optional side missions from like rank 2 through 4. This is where I'm at right now, of just doing all these like older side missions that upgrade all the stuff, because I haven't even upgraded. I think I'd upgraded the canteen once, just to like some of the deliveries get you canteen ingredients, so I'd done those, but like I hadn't gone in any optional missions 0 at all, so I hadn't upgraded the biologist place where you can like get extra stuff. I hadn't done any of the canteen stuff. The armorer sends you on quests too. Does that get you anything?
They usually get you different mantles, which are useful. Like, for example, the mantle, like one that actually helped, like when I had just gotten into high rank, that actually I haven't gotten too many other opportunities to use, but it's cool, is the water mantle. Lets you actually just run through water areas like normal. Like
that's nice.
It's really useful.
I've been using the bandit mantle a lot, which is the one that drops trade-in items.
Well, that one's great in multiplayer because only one person needs to wear that, unless you want to like stagger it so that you're always wearing. You can do it that way, I guess. But like only one person needs to do it in multiplayer, which is nice.
And everyone can pick up the loot, which is very nice. It's very cool.
Here's a little tip that actually I learned from Gaijin Hunter that you might not know. Is that the little gaseous area in the Rotten Vale, how it like slowly nukes your health down slowly. I mean, obviously, you guys probably know that you can launch torch pods into that area and kind of dissipate the gas. I don't know.
I did, but I never have torch pods. Never did that. I knew you could, but I've never actually done it because.
Another neat trick that he showed was that if you actually wear literally any mantle, because it shows the mantle covering your face. It actually you're unaffected by the game. You're unaffected by the gas.
I don't know. I kind of like that. Doesn't tell you. That's kind of a fun
little neat
like that's
stuff
minor
like
enough
that.
where it's like that's cool.
But
like,
but they don't tell you how to do they don't tell you how to do the torch pod thing either. Like they kind of do it. They kind of do in a cutscene, kind of, but not. They don't really tell you that it disperses the poisonous aspect of it. So, those optional quests are all really boring. I don't know if they're more fun if I did them in the level I was supposed to do them at, maybe. But like a lot of them are like hunt 10 of this monster, and it's like. This is the thing I'm talking about when I think that sometimes Monster Hunter should just be like a normal open world game. Not that it should. Not that you. I mean, you can still have the hub and the open world and go back and forth, and even the different levels is fine. But like, where it's like I have to choose optional quests. I have to go to this exact optional quest, load in, kill 6 of these things that are like not even attacking me. I killed them. Now I have to load all the way back again. It's like, why can't I just do that after? Why can't it just be an expedition?
It is
and I have a list of quests that are just in the expedition, and I'm just gonna go through all of those. It's kind of weird that like even why do I have to like?
Because they kind of have that where you can kind of do an expedition and then it like says like return to camp as opposed to return to HQ. But like even then it's a big load screen.
Another mission, but yeah, it's another load screen between you finishing the quest and then getting back to camp to go.
Yeah.
Like, hey, can I do this one since I'm in the same area? And it's like, yeah, like, go do it.
Like, there's almost no reason not to go back to HQ because you're gonna have a load screen anyway. And like,
and that's the thing is like it's there's times where it's like, yeah, I have 3 missions in the Wildspire Waste. One is kill 6 of these dudes, one's kill a Rathian, and one is gather 7 mushrooms. And it's like, I should just be able to do all 3 of those at the same time. Why do I have to?
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Especially considering there is a bounty system too.
Yeah, there is exactly that system built in, just not for those quests.
They probably just left it in there, sort of thing, where it's like people expect these weird optional quests.
It's just because legacy. Because the way it was.
Tradition. Tradition.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like after hunts, a lot of times, like I don't mind the kind of the refresh of like, all right, let's everybody head back.
For a hunt, like, I wouldn't even be against it for like the main missions or even for investigations or whatever, what have you.
Well, I think if they were that would kind of solve it if there were at least like bounties because you could just do them whenever. You don't have to like you don't have to like go out there. But I do see what you're saying, Ricardo, where it's like this is a nice like chill thing where I don't have to freak out about dying or missing like my jump.
But that's what an expedition is for, though. Like you could just go on an expedition and have it be where those are like like bounties. They just collect as you go.
That's true.
And just have them. You can still go do a chill thing. You wouldn't have to be in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
It's definitely been an odd. It's been kind of like an odd juxtaposition because like I haven't found myself going on like expeditions really, because to me it's like, well, if you're not like actually doing
exactly
quest, like there's no real reason to be out there. But then there's like stuff like the Grimalkin quests, which unlock new gadgets for your Palico, which I have interacted with like only one like little troop of Grimalkins or whatever to get one other gadget for my
I've only got one other gadget as well.
And I feel like it's like you definitely feel acquainted with and close to these stages the more you play on them. Like you know where things are and where to go and like where monsters are going to be hanging out. But it definitely is kind of like a missed opportunity of the fact that these other like NPCs like the Grimalkins and then there's like I think the fisherman guy or whatever are hanging out in these quests. In these maps during expeditions, but like not at no other time. And so it's kind of like a weird disconnect between a lot of different elements of the game. But I mean, again, that's in a lot of weird ways. It's like that's like a lot of different elements of the game too, is just like a weird disconnect where you're not quite sure why they did it like that. But
in some ways, I kind of like it's weird that it's bad, but I kind of enjoy it in some ways. Like it's weird. Like it's not like, oh man, this is great game design. I'll step back and be like, this is great. But like, I'm like, oh well, I could just go do this chill quest right now, or even some of the other weird things like not explaining things properly, like doing the like how to get like Pooga costumes. Like when you discover that stuff, it's so much more rewarding and be like, oh man, that's so cool to like find that. It's kind of in some ways it's kind of what made Dark Souls really cool in that way.
And like Breath of the Wild, if you're talking about that kind of discovery stuff. But like I don't think that's the same thing. I think that's like the discovery and like the relaxing nature of things can still be there. You could like basically on the quest screen there are 4 screens and there should be like 2 or 3 instead. Like they could merge like 2 of those together, like so that you could still have your expedition type of situation, and like go on and find the Grimalkin and
they're all different,
do all that kind of stuff. But the optional quests and the investigations aren't different.
Pretty similar, or they're pretty different. I mean, I'm gonna say is that like some of them are like
The optional quests are go kill 10 of these things.
Well,
or go kill
some
monster,
investigations
or
are like
kill
like 5 creatures all at once in one thing, like one shot. Like, but that's not an optional quest.
Some investigations are like that, but all the other investigations are go kill 10 of these things, or go kill one of this thing, or go capture this thing.
But a lot of the investigations also have their own like little twists on things. So some of them are like, you can only faint twice, or you can only have 2 people on this, or you can only do this.
So keep that in there. Okay. I'm not saying get rid of investigations. I'm saying like optional quests. I think the big thing is optional quests and expeditions should be merged into one.
There could be a way to do that.
Expeditions and optional quests. Like optional quests are always on, always active, and then you just go on an expedition to that area, and whatever optional quests you have for that area, will be available. So
yeah, there's probably a different. I don't know. It's like weird. In that, like, a lot of other games, I question, like, a lot more, like, why did they do it like this? Whereas in, like, Monster Hunter, a lot of times it's weird. Like, I really don't, I can't explain why I feel that way. A lot of times it's just like, oh, well, how do you do that? Oh, you do it this weird way? Oh, okay. Like, for some reason, that's just how it feels.
I think it gets away because it has its own sort of, like, charm and style to it. That's just kind of makes it like, oh yeah, that's just weird, but all right, that's how it goes.
It's like, oh, that's Monster Hunter.
Yeah, you didn't do this part right, but that's okay.
It takes 10 times before you figure out how to join up with people for story quests. But,
we figured it out though. Oh, Monster Hunter. At least we figured out a way around it.
Monster Hunter's so weird.
So I should, I guess, take this time to say I've actually rolled like final credits on on Monster Hunter. What
is final? What is final?
I mean, there's no such thing as in Monster Hunter, but like I'll face the final Elder Dragon boss and actually got like a conclusion to the amazing story of Monster Hunter World.
Boy,
wow, nail biter to the end.
But yeah, those last those Elder Dragon quests are all really fun and unique. Well, I guess maybe one or two are not necessarily fun. Like
who's the worst? I don't care about spoilers. So just name
there's a guy named Val Hazak who is essentially like an undead dragon, and he has a brand new super cool ability called what is it? It's like effluvian gas or whatever. So basically, you know that stuff you're breathing in the Rotten Vale. He's basically covered in it, and more than that, if you take too many hits from this effluvian gas thing, it will half your life bar. It halves your life bar, and it doesn't.
Sucks.
And you can get rid of it by eating a nullberry. But we didn't know that going into the fight with him, so instead it led us to be scrounging nullberries during this fight to try to actually like stay alive. We got down to our last faint, but we were able to take him out the first time. But it was a pretty annoying fight, just again because of like sort of lack of information.
My solution to that: don't get hit.
My solution to that: use a gun.
Yeah,
stand far away.
That was a problem.
I went.
None of us use guns.
I went into the optional fight that I had to do to fight the Rathian, which is the first time I fought a Rathian, and I was like, I don't know what it's weak to because I don't even have it in, like I have it in the book, but just the picture. That's it, nothing else. Like, I know nothing about it, so I guess I'll just.
That's what it looks like. That's what she looks like.
I guess I'll just wear what I'm wearing, and all my stuff was like weak to fire damage. And so,
oh no!
Literally the first move that it does is shoot fire, and I'm like, oh, I should have worn different clothes for this. But then I just did not get hit the entire. I got hit by the swipe attacks and stuff, but not every time it breathed fire, I was just like, dodge, run.
Yeah, there's also like. It's funny because this is the way Rathian has been in like every game, is that like it's not necessarily a monster you would assume does poison damage, and then it does do poison damage.
Yeah,
so,
that surprised me as well.
If you don't have antidotes,
then I cut its tail off, and that's not a problem.
That does help, yeah.
I have a blunt weapon, so I never know what that feels like.
You just know it's like to make them tired.
I just KO them.
Yeah, the Insect Glaive is, I've learned a lot about that. I went and looked up some more tutorials, even though I thought I had a good handle on it, and now I'm like, oh, you can KO with the Insect Glaive too if you get a Kinsect that is a blunt Kinsect. And then I have it so that when the Kinsect attacks, it drops heal powder in the air.
Oh, I've seen Jorge was using one that did that too.
Yeah, so it's just like I don't even need to use potions anymore. Just like that plus the Vigor Wasp, just like everything is just healing me.
Yeah, I had been primarily using my Palico with the Flash Fly thing because it eventually upgrades to have shock traps. It lays down just shock traps like randomly during the fight, and those are really useful until you start fighting elder dragons and forget to switch out your Palico.
They are weak. They
never get caught in a trap at all. So
you can't capture them, right? That's the point.
Capture them, and they just don't get stopped by traps at all. They just like step over them, and they're like.
So those are like unique, right? Like that's the idea of all the Elder Dragons is there. Like that named Elder Dragon is that exact Elder Dragon. There's no other Elder Dragons like it.
No.
I mean, I know you fight him again and again because it's Monster Hunter. But I mean, like Nergigante is one creature. It's not a kind of dragon, right? It's just. What's the point? I guess I'm wondering. Like, Zora Magdaros is clearly just that thing. Is Zora Magdaros or isn't like a race of Zora Magdaros that is just that one?
You know, Matt, that's a great question.
Who cares? That's what Monster Hunter says.
Pretty much. Yeah, but those are all really fun fights, except for maybe Valhazak. But now you know you need no berries, so maybe it's not going to be as hard for you.
I just have them always because the game like defaults to having them in your inventory, and I never got rid of them. So
each one kind of has a trick that, like, if you know going into the fight, it'll be slightly easier.
Just one trick to face down Valhazak.
Yeah, pretty much. Except I feel like Teostra we went into and fought, and he didn't have too much trouble with him, but yeah, the final boss is really cool. It's really fun fight.
I'm excited to see that. I should tell that story of what I did to an Elder Dragon fight.
Oh no.
So the way the system works at Monster Hunter is if you can join a squad, which we have our own little squad that we made. If you join that, you can just join anyone's quest unless you put a password on it. But most people don't because it's like, oh, it's my squad. We're not going to do anything weird. But I saw Ricardo's cousin Jorge had that quest open. He was doing the Nurse Gigante. And I was like, cool.
And like I don't know about you guys, but I never like limit the number of people. I just hit X to go through all the things.
And so I was like, cool, I'm gonna help him. And I've never beaten him before because I always died. And he was doing perfectly fine and had this on his own, like probably had it on farm. And I was like, I'm just gonna join in. I'm gonna go with my hammer and let's do this. And I go in, and I die once, I die twice, and I was like, oh boy, I sure hope not again. And then we got him almost dead all the way down. And then I died. And I just went in and ruined his game. I wasted 34 minutes on this fighting this one guy and dying at the end, and I felt so bad.
And Jorge did not die at all.
He didn't die at all. I was the only one who died the entire time.
And then you quit on it. And then you quit the entire game.
Because I had somewhere to go. I felt real bad.
And Ethan hasn't played Monster Hunter since.
No.
No, we eventually. Well, I sat out on that quest. They went in and helped you finally take out Nergigante, right?
Yeah, they did. And I went back in and was like, cool. I like this armor a lot because this armor will be super helpful as a bow gunner. So I'm probably gonna have to try to farm him now and beat him up because
that sounds fun.
Because his set bonus is like really good.
Yeah, all the Elder Dragons have some really cool looking armor, and a lot of them have super cool abilities. None super great for hunting horn, but
sad.
Yeah, that's sad, but whatever, man.
Hunting horn is too niche.
I'll get by.
Only 1% of players use it or something.
I can't believe that.
Too hipster.
I can't believe it's such a.
It's hey, I agree, man. It's super good. It's super good.
I never use it because you always use it. So
yeah, that's the thing is that like when one person's already buffing us, I'm like, I don't need to use this thing. Also, I keep going around and looking and being like, oh, I'll look at this. I'll just check out some weapon tutorials and see if there's any other weapons I want to try out. And I'm like, that weapon looks cool, but not as cool as Insect Glaive. And then I, oh, that weapon looks cool, but I really like the Insect Glaive.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the same with me, except that like then I'll actually start playing the weapon and then like realize like I'm like, man, I sure do miss being able to do this and being able to do that.
Yeah. Boy, it sure sucks having to go up to hit creatures and hit them.
Yeah.
This sucks.
One thing that I thought was that might convince me is the charge blade. The charge blade has some really cool.
The charge blade.
It's just got the impact. Like you're like.
Wait, the charge blade?
Yeah, charge blade.
Like the charge blade is like a sword and shield that you combine into each other to turn into a giant axe, and then like it has like these like Bloodborne-esque like transformations that like lock, like almost like a transformer thing of like this chink, 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 and like locks in, and when you swing the axe version around it, like a freeze frame happens and it like explodes out.
That's
cool.
Mike is our friend Mike, not Ethan's roommate Mike, but another friend of ours, Mike, is our big charge blade. Actually, Mike is a weird case in that he plays every weapon. He
I saw that.
essentially makes and plays like every weapon and just farms monsters ridiculously so he can just continuously make new weapons and plays them. But primarily he plays charge blade, and so like when he does do that big like for him, I think it's like a lightning elemental is his best one, and he just like slams it down, and there's like this big lightning strike. It's like always super, like
it's like the
cool.
The longsword when you get all the charges up and you finally
and then you do the jump, and then the fucking slice down.
So good, it's so good.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
I can't do anything like that.
I know. As a bow gunner, the best thing I got is like hunting shot.
The hunting horn is just great for, like. All the different buffs it had and
that's
stuff
what that's the thing is like I as a bow gunner, like I don't have a lot of like cool, like I have some bursty
you
things.
have like the big wyvern shot.
Wyvern snipe is pretty good, but like
and then
it does a decent amount, and the cluster bomb,
the cluster bomb, which nobody likes because it always
blows
catches
everyone
somebody.
away. Yeah, but it's fun to do. So I do all that stuff, but like I always have to remember, like I don't do any like, because when I play hammer, it's like the opposite. It's just like you hit, you do a bunch of damage, and you run away.
Yeah.
But like the bowgun, you just sit there and you just constantly hammer on, just like pow, 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 just slowly take that health down little by little while everyone else, your melee friends can't do it.
I found the trick with the Insect Glaive has been to spend as little time on the ground as possible. I'm probably doing slightly less damage than I could, like optimally, but like by not being on the ground, I'm so rarely getting hit, and when you're finishing hits on your aerial attack, you launch into the air again and do and can keep going. So I'm literally on the Rathian I just fought. I'm just like going like this back and forth, and it is just spinning around underneath me, trying to like it's just reorient. I'm like I almost feel like I'm like. taking advantage of the engine of the game, because the monsters cannot focus me because I am not in one place long enough to do anything to it. So yeah.
So Ricardo, as someone who's seen the credits, is the sun setting on Monster Hunter? Or are you gonna keep playing it a lot?
It's interesting because we did actually kind of jump in and start fighting some of these tempered monsters now that pop up, which is essentially just a version of the existing monsters that do more damage. That's literally all they do. They don't do any new moves from high rank, and they don't have any more health. They just do more damage. So it's kind of like a weird trade-off, and we actually had such kind of like ease in beating that the couple that we did fight, that I am just kind of like, man, I need to start setting some like new goals for myself in this game, or I honestly,
I will say
might be break time, because
also playing with a big crew like your guys, like when they came and helped me with that quest, it went like a
super
billion times easier, just because everyone is like super high level, they got all the stuff, and just like when you have a team of 4 people coordinating, especially when they know what they're doing, like you just wreck things, like just utterly destroy them. Because your Palico, as helpful as they are, they're not as good as a real person with like a sword.
Yeah, there was a case where we fought as we were kind of all prepping to fight further Elder Dragons and stuff, we fought this pink Rathian, and like we got to this point in the fight, which we'd only been fighting it for a little bit, and where like somebody knocked it over, and then I KO'd it, and then no, somebody mounted it, knocked it over. Then as it was getting up, I KO'd it. It fell over. It started getting up again. Somebody else knocked it over before it got all the way back up, and then it limped away and tried to fly. I shot a flash pod at it. It fell back down, and we just murdered it right there on the spot.
Yeah.
And it took like 5 minutes, and I was like, God damn, that felt weird, like, because
it's just so quick.
It was just so fast.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's like super satisfying. Is like
yeah, no,
just
it
being
was
able
great,
to, like,
especially because like
these things that took forever to kill, and then all of a sudden wrapping around, just being like, "You're dead now, bitch." You know, it's like.
This is the thing I was worried. This is the thing I was worried about. Is that like I'm not at that level yet, and so now you guys are like, I'm almost done with this game, like ready to be done.
I still got a lot to go. Well, not a lot,
I'll play like Sword and Shield or something. I'll start playing something else.
I mean, that's the nice thing. Is like
Sword and Shield with the base set it gives you. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to upgrade it.
I mean, that's the nice part about the game is if you like master one thing, you're like, oh, okay, I'm good at this. You just go and play a different weapon, like one that you're not familiar with, and boom, you're almost like, even if you upgrade it, like you're still back at like square one in a lot of ways, because like you're just not used to it at all.
Just don't know how to play it.
Like I'm terrible at the dual blades. I love them. Like they're super fun, but like I'm terrible with them. I'm much better with
You do that thing where you like pinwheel. Like
the pinwheel is super fun, but it's kind of hard to do. You know, it's kind of hard to get that consistently going. Anyway, I'm looking forward to actually finishing that game because I only got the 3 Elder Dragons left. I think. Is there only 3 more? The final one?
Let's see. There's Nergigante, Teostra, Kashella Diora,
Zora Magdaros,
Valhazak, Zora Magdaros, and then the last one.
Okay,
so like
Zora Magdaros.
Zora Magdaros.
Don't worry, Matt. But everyone else will stop playing, and me and you will have to go through and finish those guys.
No, I'm
no.
Not I'm still looking for question mark Rathian.
Oh yeah.
Who knows what it could be? What color it might be?
What color could that Rathian be?
I don't know. I've never heard of any other color of Rathian.
No.
But it's question mark.
No.
I already knew what it was, but yeah, I'm still looking for that mystery, whatever, and it may never be solved. People are even today still wondering.
No one knows what that is.
No one knows.
Question mark.
It's still a mystery.
But there have been other games that we've played this week. And then we spent 25 minutes talking about Monster Hunter or whatever.
Ethan, talk about them because I'll be right back.
Ethan, talk about.
Oh, my games. All right.
A game called Forza Horizon 3, and I want to just know, like, what is this?
What
is this video game that you've played?
So
did you buy this game? Like,
I did
what's
buy this
going
game.
on? Why did you buy Forza Horizon 3?
Okay, so it was on sale. So it was only like $20 for the crossplay version, and I was like, you know what? And it comes with the Hot Wheels DLC. That's all the expansion. So
does that actually have like loops and stuff? It has like loops and stuff.
I think it has loops and stuff. I haven't actually played it yet.
Like Hot Wheels track type situation.
You have to unlock it. I have not played a racing like a pretty not super simmy racing game like since like Burnout Paradise, and Burnout Paradise is barely like. I guess no, it was Need for Speed Shift. I think was the last one I played. Where they kind of went for this war. That was when Need for Speed went the opposite way and went a little more realistic, and actually tried to like put some like actual, I guess those turn lines. I feel like when you hit that simulator mode, is when they have those turns. I don't know if you played any of these types of games, Matt, where you actually have these like maps in the road that kind of like turn different colors, telling you like brake and stuff like that.
I have not, but I have obviously seen a lot of racing games that do
I feel like that.
I'm not really into racing games. Like
I'm not either.
Like
I'm
not
either, but I always
Mario Kart.
I always feel like most other genres. I feel like it's one of those games I have to like dip into. Like every so often, I'll be like, man, I really want to play a basketball game, or man, I really want to play like. I want to play some Madden, but it happens like once every 10 years, once every like 5 years or something like that. So I kept hearing a lot of good things about Forza Horizon 3.
And Horizon's like the slightly less simmy.
Yeah, it's less simmy. It has fun things. It has off-road stuff. It has that Hot Wheels track, you know, which I haven't unlocked yet. And it just has more of like, it kind of feels a lot like a more simmy version of Burnout Paradise, which we'll talk about later. But it's pretty neat. Like I like it a lot. It's refreshing to kind of go into like a game that kind of guides you along. that is just like, okay, here's the medium settings, you know? They have all these different difficulty sliders. And the thing that's cool about it is the more realistic you put it, the only thing you get is like more, I guess like currency points. Which,
okay.
So it's like you get like a bonus to currency points. You make the game harder. But you could just play the game on easy. You can play it like, I'm playing it on medium because, you know, whatever. But you can, if you turn everything on, like, for example, right now I have it where the cosmetic, or if I get hit another car, it just does this like cosmetic damage. It doesn't do anything that actually damages the engine or anything. And also,
yes, because they did use like real car brands.
Yeah.
So they were like,
so you can't smash them too much, but they can damage them.
Too much.
There also is this whole feature where if you miss like a turn or really mess up a turn, you can tell how serious this game is about turns. When you like nail a turn, you're like, yeah, I nailed that turn. Is if you mess up that turn real bad, you just hit the Y button and it'll just rewind you back to where you were, and you can just try that turn again. There's no penalty. You just do it. So it's, in that sense, it's much more of a relaxing simulation game where it's like, okay, sure, you're going really fast. You're going like 180 miles an hour, but it's very forgiving of that speed and just like, it's fine if you mess up. Just rewind back. It's cool. It doesn't matter that much. You know, and you'll still have fun. You'll still progress in the game. And I don't know. So far, I haven't played a whole lot of it. Maybe played like 2 hours of it. It's a really good time. It's kind of what I was looking for. I feel like I have these different genre meters in my mind of like, okay, I haven't played like a shooter game in a while. I haven't played like a deep RPG in a while. But when I like fill it up all the way, or when it goes all the way down, which happens depending on how much I love that type of genre, like I need to fill it up. I need to play like one game to kind of get that back.
I see what you mean.
Because like Mario Kart is fun, but like sometimes you just want that nice, realistic, no BS. Like I'm just racing a car. I'm not gonna have like a turtle shell come up and hit me. You know, I'm just gonna have a nice car race and win and get those points. And also the game is really good looking. They have that. I'm only playing on like medium settings on my computer, and it looks really good. It has that dynamic resolution thing, so anytime like it gets too hectic, it stays at 60 frames a second and like reduces its resolution to try to keep that. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm excited to try the cross-platform stuff too on that game, but it's I'm enjoying it a lot. Also, weird thing is I found out that like Kurt is our friend Kurt, who was on the podcast years ago. Is like Kurt. Remember that guy?
Fuck Kurt.
He plays this game a lot. Like he has a whole bunch of
Forza Horizon.
I guess so. Like it says he has like, because it imports all your gamer tags from your Xbox account.
Gamer
tags, and makes them their drivatars, so you can race against them, and you can actually like challenge them to a race. But most of them are like level 1, because they didn't play the game or whatever. But he's like level 48, and I'm like, dude, I don't know how high of a level that is, but like that's that means he plays a lot. And it's interesting just seeing people I haven't seen in a while because I don't play my Xbox at all. I don't even have Xbox Live anymore, really.
Oh, but it still imports all those things even though you don't have Xbox Live?
It still has like all those drivatars and stuff. Because I mean, it's for the PC version, so the PC version's like, whatever, you can't charge for that.
Yeah,
that'd be weird.
You can't charge for this. I'm just waiting, man. Nintendo's charging for their online now.
Yeah, but I feel like PC you can't because just it's so decentralized. You can't like.
Yeah,
you can't charge for that.
Someone would have to
market, bro.
How many bitcoins does it cost to get me online?
Kill me. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot.
This racing game.
It is kind of make me sad that like I play this. I'm like, man, the only person I know who'd probably play this is Anders, and I don't know where he is. He's gone.
I'm sorry.
Should I talk about the other game I played?
Where is it?
Guys, you've both been playing some fighting games. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
While I go back.
What happened? Oh shit. Ethan, what happened this last week?
This last week, we all registered for Hit Fighting Game Championship Evolution Fighting Game Championship Evo 2018.
Year 4, I think for you
for
and
us.
me.
Have been it's weird to think this is the 4th year we're going to Evo.
As many years as it's been in high school, been at Evo. You know?
Finally, this is our senior year. We're gonna not try at all, and we're just gonna sail through.
Yeah. I'm gonna get last.
I'm not bringing my giant bag of salt. I saw that giant bag of salt.
last period off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that because fuck it. Do I want to take another elective? Fuck no.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I think it's also funny because like our group has grown exponentially.
Dude,
like,
it's crazy.
It's weird because it was what? It was just us, like
it was
me,
us
you,
four
and two of our friends. And
First.
now it's like then it was Matt.
Then Matt and
Amber
Amber
showed up.
showed up.
Was anyone else? No one else was there.
What's up?
No one else was there. It was just us six, right? Us six.
Yeah, it was us six, and then Amber missed the next year, but Jorge and Alex jumped
your cousins
on.
joined in, and
so
now
we gained technically 1, and then suddenly this year it's
like
just like
10. It's like 10
million
people at
people.
least, and I don't know, maybe some extra people will be going.
Yeah.
It's still up in the air. But like
Evo.
it's
Sorry, that was how I had to come in.
It's crazy how many people are going this year. So just in our group.
Oh, in our group? Yeah, I was like, man, we got a big group this year, and then your cousin was like, I got a new friend. I'm like, oh no.
Oh yeah, he's bringing someone else. It's like a whole
that's
bunch
why I told him I was like, hey man, like if you need to get like another room or something like that, like because it's gonna be pretty. We
are not gonna be able to do things as a group the way we have in the past.
No way.
It's gonna be like we're gonna go do this and we're gonna go do that and like people will go and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean
no.
It
like
just
we're just gonna have to split up a little bit because
I believe we're like 12 or maybe 13, so it's not like I mean, do you really see groups of 13 people walking places uniformly
sometimes,
together?
but not often.
in a line? Yeah, like slow motion only.
Yeah.
That's the only way we walk to places.
Only when everyone's his pools. It's gonna be great.
I was just thinking the other day. I was excited about the pools, but not about the fighting game pools. I was excited about the pools with the laser river in them.
I know. Yeah. I was thinking about it. I'm like, do I even like you or just like fun and dumb Vegas? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. That's the thing is like,
honestly, just like I was thinking like I don't like Vegas really at all, but I'm like, but I like my friends and I like a weekend of not doing stuff and drinking and getting excited about stuff.
I think you like some parts of Vegas. Like I think it's for me. I appreciate Vegas for its weird fakeness that it is.
The weird.
I absolutely love Vegas from all of its seedy underbelly to its glittering towers of glitter.
Yep. Glittering towers of glitter.
But like that's the thing is like if this was like literally anywhere else, I don't know if I would be as excited about it.
Yeah, you know what? That's true actually.
I'm like it's literally a place where I can have a drink inside, walk outside, still keep me drinking it, walk into a new place, still keep me drinking it, and just like fucking never stop be drinking.
That's totally fair. I think I would still enjoy it if it was somewhere else.
Never.
Like,
I think so too, but like it's tough when it's like sometimes you're like, well, I guess we did everything here. I don't really care about whatever games are being played this year. I guess I'll just go hang out at like this dumb. We'll go to. That's the any show we see, the Blue Man Group. We'll go see that.
We're only gonna see
We'll go see what's the one? Not Medieval Times. What's the other? What's it called?
Tournament
of Kings. We'll go see that. We'll have a good time.
Ethan and I are definitely gonna see.
We're gonna see Tournament of Kings this year. I swear.
Thunder from Down Under.
We're gonna see Thunder from Down Under the night after. And
I don't care. I don't care if it's male strippers. I just want to see a show.
I'm just here for a spectacle.
Yeah.
I just want to be entertained. That is fun.
Are you not entertained?
Because Evo's not like another convention where it is like actually a convention. This is straight up a tournament. So if you're not into what's going on, like for example, we're not gonna be into the beginning of the finals. We're gonna be like, this is stupid. Let's. I don't want to wake up early and see freaking Melee played again.
Yeah. I mean the thing about like. Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is that, like, that's kind of like what you said about, like, how at other places you kind of see all the things there are to see. Like, that's just kind of how I feel about Vegas. Like, it's not like, like, listen, guys, I want to say this. The thing that makes me excited about Evo and Vegas is you.
Aww.
It's you guys, seeing you guys.
Evo or the friends you made along.
Yeah, exactly. The Evo was never really magic. The magic was inside you all along.
It's just a magic venue.
But yeah, being in a pool is pretty fun. Being in a pool and drinking, also pretty fun.
Being in the pool and then having to finish your beer real quick because you can't go
in the kiddie section where you're
because you can't drown
and surrounded by children, in a really weird way of like
drinking a beer.
Here I have this beer. Here I have this beer ankle deep in water while all these kids swim around me, and I'm just gonna go ahead and drink this real quick so we can get into the adult.
So you can get into the wave pool, but you can't be on the shore of the wave pool. The waves but you can't be too far out, and you also can't be against this side of the wall. You have to be just like right perfect in the perfect area.
And you also
there's so many rules in that
I'm
damn
super
pool.
excited to go in that pool again.
You also can't be on the sand because the sand is literally 10,000 degrees.
It's true.
And you are dying. Like,
damn, that sand sucked, dude.
Dude, who was it? Was it Jorge or Alex that didn't take their shoes with them? The rest of us like kept our shoes on and walked to the water and then took the shoes off there, and somebody didn't, and they were very upset. Brothers actually.
I for sure tried to make a break for it initially, and then realized, oh wait, no, I'm a tenth of the way there, and my feet are burning to death.
Like,
maybe I should not do this.
And for context, like, we've all grown up in Southern California. We know how hot sand gets on a hot day at the beach. Like, well, I mean, but even I don't either. But like, I've been to the beach.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I know it gets hot. I know it can get very hot, and you go ooh, and you're like tiptoeing, and you get in the water, like, that was really hot. But this is like, no, I cannot walk. Like, my feet have
I have not felt that much pain. I had to wear my shoes all the way to the water.
Yes,
my shoes got wet, and then I tried to dry them off, and then by the end of the trip, they had mold in them. I had to throw them away.
I had to like throw the shoes from the water to the spot where like shoes were being stored.
Bring flippy floppies, all I'm saying.
But the floppies.
Flippy floppies.
Did you guys actually talk about fighting games?
No, we haven't. We just talked about
Evo.
Because that's what we did. So register for Evo. What games did you register for, Ricardo?
Dragon Ball FighterZ.
I registered.
Why are you asking for me?
Hey Matt, what game did you sign up for? Nothing. Okay. I signed up for Street Fighter V because...
Which baffles my mind.
Why does it baffle your mind?
Yeah. Because that game is so hard, man.
The game is so hard, but like that's the thing is I know enough about it that I can actually like competently be okay at it.
Ethan, will you make it out of the first round of pools?
Probably not. But
all right.
I mean,
at least I'll probably win one fight. I think maybe.
You think so?
I'm gonna try real hard.
This is the third year. This is the third year now.
Who are you playing now?
I'm gonna fucking play Dawson. I don't give a shit.
Oh, you're gonna still play Dawson?
I don't give a shit.
All right, fair enough.
So I went out and I.
He's getting up from his chair.
He lost his chair. Everyone listening to this on the audio version, he has left his chair. Ethan is now.
I bought the sick arcade edition of the game. You may have heard of it.
Arcade.
Also because I can get that cool Monster Hunter skin. Anyway.
F you.
But also, I picked it up because I was like, well, I either could play like more characters, or I also kind of want to get used to like playing on a PS4 because that's what you kind of play there, and mapping your controller to the PS4 is its own tricky situation, and it really scared me last time because I was like, I hope my controller works on this PS4, and it did, and I was still scared. So I was like, I'm gonna train up again on PS4 and just start from scratch. And what's nice is that I can actually start from the bottom and school a bunch of nerds online
and feel good about yourself.
Before I get crushed. Yeah.
Unless there's a bunch of dudes on Smurf accounts on there.
Smurf account, you're right.
Like Ethan.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing,
I mean, he's a very small Smurf.
So I haven't played. Yeah, I know. I played a lot of Street Fighter 4 or 5, and then now this arcade edition's out, and the arcade edition's supposed to like change a bunch of stuff, and they're not wrong. Like, you log in to that thing, and it's like, look at all the stuff you can do. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. You can see who has frame advantage, like in training mode now, which is really cool.
The weird like painted.
Yeah, you
stuff.
can see like painted stuff. See if you have frame advantage at certain times. You can see what is Matt holding up? Matt, say what are you holding up?
Champions.
Oh, he's holding up the champions badge.
Champions.
I still have that. I'll have that forever.
I forgot that last year. This year I won't forget.
I won't
champions.
forget this year either.
Yeah, I don't know what. I might wear the Dragon Ball FighterZ one that I got.
Oh yeah, that came last year, didn't we? He did that last year.
Yeah.
Anyway, So like there's a bunch of stuff like that. There's like a lot of new features in the Capcom's FighterZ network or whatever it's called, where you can see like
CFN.
you can see like people who are respected, and it's like how many people have viewed their profile, and like a lot of like just little things that kind of add up to like, oh, okay, you guys are actually like trying. I see what you're doing. Like it's been a couple years that you guys actually have stuff. And it's like you have all these challenges you can do. You have these things you can pay some fight money to actually like gamble and try to complete these challenges in time to win stuff. There's this a bunch of arcade story modes you can do with different like endings for each character. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's, although it's weird as it's like new interface, and it's like, man, you guys have the exact same interface. It's just different colors. Like it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. You even but you can change the music that plays when you're in the practice select screen and the normal select screen, so you can have different music for each one. You could like unlock music, and I don't know. It's a good way of like reinvigorating this
it definitely
game that has a
like
good core.
Yeah, it definitely looked like they went a lot of steps to make the presentation better.
Yeah.
Also, like you said, in terms of like little things like stat changes, because literally throughout the entire career of regular Street Fighter V, none of like a lot of that stat tracking
it didn't matter.
Stuff actually worked.
One very important feature that they actually added was everything loads super fast. Like it loads much faster.
Okay.
So like you can get to a game much quicker. You can hit start and like, skip a bunch of things, and boom, you're in a game. Like, which is nice, because one thing I always kind of complained about was like, oh, it takes me so long. Like after I fail, you know, if I lose a game, it takes me a while to get back into a new one. So it's almost like, is it worth it to match in? So, I mean, they're doing a lot of good changes, and I'm excited to kind of dip into it again. And I'm hoping that because the arcade edition was released and is on sale right now at like GameSpot, so I picked it up, GameStop. I'm hoping that will reinvigorate the player base a little bit, maybe. But then this other game came along that you've been playing that's kind of made everyone be like, all right, buy Marvel vs. Capcom, because that was the main thing that they're actually running off of. But
that was,
man, that game was like,
that didn't even last a year.
That game was really cheap because it's on I have that Gamers Club discount for Best Buy, and it was like $20. So I would have gotten it with the 20% off, so it'd been like, you know, $13. I was like, is it $14? Is it worth it? Is it worth buying it? And everyone's like,
yeah, I saw that tweet. I saw that tweet, and I was like, I don't really want to respond to this because I don't think it is, but also it's just like, I feel like the game's been torpedoed enough by Capcom and by people that it's like, if he wants to get it, it's fine.
I feel like it'd be fun to like play with friends at Evo,
maybe,
because no one's really good at it. So it'd be pretty fun to play that like
what
bullshit.
would be fun at Evo?
Playing Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite or whatever.
Nah,
you're like
that. Honestly,
I was like, oh, did you say Nidhogg? Did you?
That's
say
what I was thinking.
Fun?
I was
like,
we should get. No one has played Nidhogg 2 yet. We should get Nidhogg 2 and play that.
No one's played it. No one's played it ever in the world.
Mount your friends.
We played it. We played it last year. Mount Your Friends 2 it seems awesome. It's in 3D.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of good games to play. It'll be super fun.
We should definitely get a couple games.
I mean, there's a lot of people to play with.
Well, there's like tournaments in Nidhogg 2, which sounds super fun. Like we just set that up.
There'll be a new Jackbox game before then. Like we'll have that. I don't know. I
always thought they come out in like September. Or
they come out once a year at this point.
Like I almost feel like 2 a year like is weird. I don't know.
Well, there's a new Jackbox party pack a year, but there's also a new standalone thing.
I don't know. I don't think there's been a standalone thing in a while. Like I don't think there's been a new one.
Shut up, Ethan.
Okay.
You're probably right.
Anyway,
right.
Ricardo, what have you been playing that's not Street Fighter?
I've been going further beyond. I finally. Again, because I reached the end game of Monster Hunter, was like finally like, okay, let's try this Dragon Ball FighterZ game, and man, that game's really fun. This is
it looks cool. I don't really care about fighting games, as I've many times mentioned on this podcast, despite going to Evo, but that game looks pretty great.
Yeah, it has a ton of personality, a million and a half like references to the show and the various characters, like if you are at all familiar. And I think it's an interesting thing that this game does, in that it is I think I don't know if it was the audience that it was kind of like playing to, like it was trying to reach a wider audience, but it feels very oddly accessible in a way that a lot of versus games don't really, like not necessarily like accessible into a like to a degree of like you're going to be able to jump in and immediately be competent at anybody in this game, but it's accessible in the way that it easily and quickly gets you into being able to do things that look really cool. And a lot of that is that the game has auto combos, but like not auto combos in a way that I believe Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite actually has, like kind of like an auto combo like system where you just mash and whatever, but like they're actually baked into the framework of the game, whereas like a lot of pros actually do use elements of these auto combos and stuff. But just from a beginner standpoint, if you hit circle, if you hit square on the PlayStation 4 pad, which is the light attack, if you just mash light attack, you'll actually do a full combo where you hit the guy a couple times on the ground, launch him, and then follow him up and do attacks in the air as well, and then give him a hard knockdown. If you do that same thing by mashing triangle, which is the medium attack, you actually do an auto combo that leads into a super or a meteor attack or whatever. So it kind of really quickly fast tracks you into being able to do things that look competent and look really cool without actually having a ton of knowledge into the game. And I think that's weirdly important to teaching new players, because like I think one of the discouraging things that you reach when you're like talking about getting into fighting games is like you watch people play these fighting games and you see them doing all this cool stuff and this crazy stuff, and you're like, how do I do that? And it's literally like, well, you have to practice a lot. And I think people sometimes get discouraged before they get to that point. But by having it be like, okay, well, actually, to do this, you only have to mash this one button several times and you can do it. And then people do it and say, wow, that's really cool. And then say, okay, now instead, when you're mashing square, when you do the launch up and follow up, instead of mashing square anymore, why don't you try hitting like, medium a couple times? Okay, now when you do that, why don't you try hitting medium and then doing your special a couple times? Okay, like that, I'll do that. And kind of like it's a weird jump start into being able to learn and play the game, doing these auto combos, because it is like, okay, well, if I do that, it does this property, and this property is going to behave the same way whether I do it. Like, and it's also very friendly in just using other mechanics. For example, your circle button is your heavy, which is also your launcher. And when you do a launcher attack or a wall bounce attack, instead of actually like having to physically then like enter in some kind of input, because there's like a pursuit button also where you like charge in and go after them. Instead, all you have to do after you land a circle to pursue a guy is just hit circle again, and you go in and pursue them. And then it's just like, again, it takes a weird load off your mind when you're learning the game, where it's like all you have to do these cool systems and stuff is very simple. And then you can start like taking small parts of like small training wheels off and saying like, okay, let's stop. Like, instead of doing this auto combo all the way through again, let's like stop when we get the launcher and move on to something else a little bit more advanced or whatever like that. So that's really cool. And it helps again that all the characters are really fun and really cool to play as. Right now I'm playing, just trying to learn the game with Super Saiyan Goku, excuse me.
I would say, who are your characters right now?
Right now, I'm playing as Super Saiyan Goku, Teen Gohan, and then Tien are kind of my three right there. Tien is really cool because he has his little telekinetic buddy Chaozu, his little clown telekinetic buddy Chaozu, And one of his supers is to literally call Chaozu in to grab the opponent and then blow himself up. And then Tien reacts extremely heartbroken that his buddy Chaozu has blown himself up.
That's pretty good.
Which is from the show.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of references from the show, it seems like, specifically.
Yeah.
Ricardo, I also heard that you've been rewatching Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
I have as well.
Oh, God.
I have to get off this podcast.
I got Dragon Ball Z Kai on.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay,
on Amazon because I was like, I am not gonna rewatch the main show because I would not have called myself a Dragon Ball Z fan back in the day, but it was on TV a lot growing up, and I watched it, but like every time I watched it, it would be in a different because it was like reruns, so it was like it'd be a different saga, it'd be a different. So I've literally seen episodes from every single saga of Dragon Ball Z without seeing the entire
I've seen like
I've gone back to like rewatch it at least once or twice before in the past in like late high school or early college, and it's like, oh god, this is so
a lot of filler episodes.
And Kai is really nice because I'm like 15 episodes in, already done with the Saiyan saga completely.
Oh, okay. See, so I just finished the Saiyan saga.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's so nice to like, and it's still slow. It's still not good, well paced, but it's like at least I'm not 20 something episodes deep into one character's arc. Like I still I've got through a season.
Like in a weird way, like it definitely endears you to a lot more characters. So like again, by the time like spoilers, Yamcha and Tien and Chaozu and Piccolo die in
Piccolo's
the Saiyan saga. I actually meant to record that scene and send it to you and Lindsay and be like, see, he's fine. By the time that happens, like you've already had like a few episodes with them or like them doing different stuff. So like
Kai is also pretty, like you'd be Ricardo. There's a lot of filler in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
so still get plenty of time to enjoy the characters in the edited version, which is it's something like 90 something episodes, like at the end of it cut out, like not necessarily like the whole episode cut, but just like with the amount of content they've cut from episodes, it's like 90 something episodes that are not in the I like Dragon Ball. Not Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball.
Just regular Dragon Ball?
That's
Do you really, or have you?
Wait, is that a thing? I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah, Dragon Ball. There's Goku as a child, and his friend Bulma. Well, actually, not his friend, but a girl named Bulma shows up. And it's like, I'm hunting the Dragon Balls, and Goku's like, I don't know anything because I'm a kid who's raised in the wilderness, and I'm got a monkey tail, and I fly on this cloud. And
whoa, I didn't know Dragon Ball was actually a thing.
And hijinks ensue, and then there's
at some point a tournament.
Yeah, exactly. Dragon Ball is great. Dragon Ball is this weird like fantasy comedy action. Like it is mostly comedy with like some martial arts stuff thrown in. And then Dragon Ball Z happened and goes like, actually Goku's an alien and he's an adult and is a kid now, and then he dies 3 episodes in. Yeah. And also there's all these other characters are aliens. They were never really on Earth at all, and by the way, and this, and then like Saiyans, and now every episode's gonna be 20 fight scenes.
You should know Chaozu already died once, so he can't be revived with the Dragon Balls because they can only do the one wish once.
Same with
Piccolo dies, which means Kami also dies
because Kami created the Dragon Balls, and Kami is the guardian of Earth.
And then he's like split alien. He's like a split and Piccolo.
He separated people half. People half became Piccolo, and his good half is Kami. And Mr. Popo is a racist ass character. And no one wants to talk about Mr. Popo because like, what the hell?
Why likes pornography?
He reads pornography. Magazines. So Krillin. The reason that Krillin is friends with Goku is that he travels on a boat to Master.
He was in the tournament.
He travels on a boat to Master Roshi's island to train with Master Roshi.
Moving on the hard liquor.
And Master Roshi is like, I don't train anybody anymore. And Krillin goes, well, here's these porn mags. And he gives him porn magazines. And Master Roshi goes, okay, I'll train you. And that's what convinces him to train this guy. Also, Bulma flashes a lot of people in Dragon Ball. In the original Dragon Ball, there's a lot of nudity and a lot of like not like actual like drawn nudity, but just a lot of like Japanese 80s like I'm gonna lift up my skirt and then like the screen is gonna go white and the character's gonna be on the ground with a bloody nose.
Nosebleed.
Yeah, exactly. Dragon Ball, the original, is great. Dragon Ball Z is okay, but it also has.
What about Dragon Ball GT?
Dragon Ball GT apparently is bad. I've never seen it.
That's not even canon.
What about
anymore.
Dragon Ball Super?
It was so bad. That's canon apparently.
I hear Dragon Ball Super is cool. I hear it's cool. There are characters in Dragon Ball FighterZ from Super.
Ethan, you like pink Goku, black Goku Black.
Goku
I do?
Black.
You got pink hair. You got pink hair though.
Beerus, the cat dude, is also from Dragon Ball Super.
Ethan, you liked Asura's Wrath, right?
Yeah.
Then you would like Dragon Ball Z.
I don't know, man. Is there a scene where a man gets in a hot tub and goes, "Whoa!" and he sees the boobs and they bounce?
Yes, pretty close.
Is there a part where a guy literally puts a finger and punches pushes a man in with his giant ass finger? Man, I didn't play that game again. That game's so good.
Asura's Wrath is a sword that goes from the moon to the earth, and he's
so
like
good.
with the sword.
Okay, one thing I like about anime, the one thing I like about anime is the ridiculousness of it when they lean into it.
Yes. So here's the thing. So Piccolo, let me just say this. Piccolo is training his child Gohan.
Yes. And he's beating the shit out of him.
Gohan is drowning, and Piccolo, because he tosses him in the river, and he picks him up and goes it's like, what are you crying about? He's like, I can't swim, and he's like, shut up, and he throws him back in the river.
Still a better dad than his actual dad.
And then the full moon rises, and this is the thing with Saiyans, that when they see the full moon, they turn into a giant monkey, and Gohan and Goku go crazy because they aren't used to it, and Gohan goes crazy, and he's like a 5-year-old kid that's turned into this giant monkey, and is blasting mountains with mouth lasers. And Piccolo goes like, the moon is full. I guess I better take care of that, and just blows up the moon.
Blows up the moon.
Points the moon, and it just explodes. And
keep in mind,
that's what solved that problem.
Keep in mind, 3 episodes in, Piccolo needed 5 minutes to charge up a beam to kill a Saiyan. But if he sees the moon and it pisses him off, he can just blow up the fucking moon in a second. It doesn't matter.
So stupid. Also, Piccolo, while he was charging that beam, he had one of his arms gone. He was just charging it with one arm gone, I'm gonna charge it. That show is completely. That show is completely arbitrary as to what things do what when they do them. Krillin fires a shot at Nappa, and it's like Nappa has time to stand there, comment on the thing coming towards him, and then Vegeta has time to go dodge the thing, you idiot, and then Nappa goes, oh, and then dodges it.
That could actually do damage.
And then it goes past him. It's like, what kind of useless attack was that? It takes 30 seconds to get to a person.
Yeah. Even
and then later, it's the same.
We could talk way too much about that.
You already have.
But I was gonna say just even the whole situation with the spirit bomb, and then it's shit! I thought he dodged it. Oh no, it got bounced back. I mean, he can't dodge it this time for some reason.
The spirit bomb takes 10 seconds to charge, except when it doesn't. When it takes 10 minutes to charge, or 3 episodes to charge, depending on who was the one charging it and what they were doing at the time. Everyone gets 1 revive with the Dragon Balls, unless we really need them to come back to life, in which case we'll find some other reason to have them come back.
No, this is because the Namekians made the Dragon Balls, and so there must be more make more Dragon Balls, and I'm sure these will do a different one.
Shit.
But yeah,
Ethan is
Dragon Ball FighterZ is a great game. Dragon Ball FighterZ is a great game, but one thing that is not great right now is the current lobby and matchmaking situation. There's just inexplicable errors going on. For example, I tried to play with Alex, and I couldn't join his room. And then I made a room, and he couldn't join my room, but then Jorge could join my room and play. So it was it didn't make any sense. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Hopefully I get competent enough by the time Evo comes around that I can get a win or 2. But
that's what we'll be rooting you on for. I mean, I'm sure, knowing our luck, I'm sure you guys will have like, 5 a.m. call times again, we've had every year so far.
Hey, at least we don't have to trek all the way across to the convention center anymore. So.
Wait, what? You mean like we don't have to leave the hotel?
We don't have to leave the hotel.
I mean, last year we didn't either.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but I mean, it was that 1 year.
It's still really far. Even, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that I don't ever have to leave an air-conditioned space. But man, it's a long walk.
It's a bit of a walk.
Tram. Yeah, it is a pretty long walk. And that hallway.
That last year was rough too, because on Friday it was like, well, Ethan's got one at 8, and Ricardo's got one at 9.
We were there all day.
And like Alex has one at 11, and then Rico's got one at 12, and then Alex has one at 3, and it's like we just spend out the entire day.
Here's the advantage of maybe having a bigger group. You could just be like, "Fuck you."
I'm going to the pool.
Somebody will watch you play, I'm sure.
It's true.
Somebody will watch you play this game. It's not gonna be me though, because I'm gonna be
I'm gonna be drinking in the pool.
In the pool.
At 7 a.m.
In the lazy river.
In the knee deep water. Because they won't let me in the wave pool.
All right. Anyway, well, we've talked a long time. We haven't even got to the news yet.
But the news this week isn't too crazy. First of all, hey, I don't know if we actually got a chance to talk about the Mario movie, but
I feel like we did.
Making Mario. I feel like we probably did.
Made by the same people who made Despicable Me. Yeah, it seems all right. It's fine, whatever.
They're making a Mario movie, but the Blue Blur not content to be standing idly by while that mustachioed motherfucker
Mario
all his spotlight. The Sonic movie apparently is going to be out in 2019, in November of 2019. So, this is still being touted as like partially live action, which to me sounds like a bad idea.
That like Sonic's gonna kiss a real lady.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah. So this is being produced by the director of Deadpool. It's being produced by Tim Miller, who directed Deadpool, which I never saw Deadpool.
It's fine.
I heard it was good from a lot of people. I also heard it was fine a lot of people. But a man named Jeff Fowler is set to direct, who's, I guess, only previous work, he's a relative newcomer. His most notable previous work is an Oscar-nominated animated short called Gopher Broke, as in Gopher, the small rodent. Mm-hmm. So hey, he has some kind of pedigree dealing with small rodents.
So the company that's making this, the animation anyway, is called Marza Animation Planet, and their past work includes
Let's hear it.
Super Monkey Ball, Banana Splits, Phantasy Star Online 2, Hatsune Miku Project Diva Tekken, Sonic Generations, Phantasy Star Online 2, Sonic and All-Star Racing Transformed.
These are video games,
These are video games, but I wanted to start with the video games. They also have done featured films. The featured films are Space Pirate Captain Harlock. No, not Food Fight. King's Glaive, Final Fantasy 15.
That has good animation.
Yeah, Resident Evil Vendetta, and Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, it's coming soon. That's
and Sonic the Hedgehog.
But they also did animations for Splatoon 2 and The Last Guardian. So.
Oh, okay. So they have
some pedigree, but it's
some kind of weird pedigree.
Not much in actual like feature films. Not too much anyway.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, hey.
I don't care.
I don't You're the biggest Sonic fan on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you're bigger than me. Bigger than Ethan.
Here's the thing.
What?
Yes, okay.
I don't trust any of these rumors until I see a trailer. Then it's not real until a trailer happens.
You're right.
You shouldn't trust it because it might not come out unless the trailer happens. That Tomb Raider movie is definitely happening. Because there's multiple trailers.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
we'll see how that goes.
Trailers for it.
Trailers don't look as bad as I thought it could be. It's not great.
I mean, I suppose it's not as bad as it could be, but
They don't make me go.
And it's not as bad as that
first.
first. It's not as bad as that first poster where it looks like the lady's got like a weird giraffe neck thing going on.
Warner Brothers, they don't know how anatomy works. You see that Ready Player One poster where it's like the legs super long? I don't understand what's going on.
That movie has a lot of things that I recognize in it, so I'm gonna
watch it.
I like watching it because I want to see all the things.
Did you guys see the Halo reference in Ready Player One?
Did you see the Overwatch?
Oh, did you see the Iron Giant?
I think honestly the biggest thing that bugs me in Ready Player One is that the guy's avatar is just like he plays too much Final Fantasy. Yeah, he's like anime boy. It's like, dude, make it look kind of close to yourself, man. Don't fucking.
No, dude. And the point of being in a different world, you want to be someone else. You want to be some crazy thing like
anime.
Like anime. You want to be anime, or you want to be like a bean, a can of beans, like in VR chat.
I was gonna say, wait, what?
A can of beans, dude. Be what you truly are, a can of beans. All right, what's this next story, Ricardo?
So guys, digital pre-ordering, it's a thing you can do now in the year 2018. Nintendo's being kind of as typical, kind of being a little bit weird about it.
What? So, Nintendo's weird on the digital front? Say it ain't so.
Yeah. So apparently if you pre-order something digitally via the Nintendo Eshop, you can't cancel that pre-order. So you're kind of just locked into just buying the goddamn thing. Like, even if you change your mind. So apparently, according to this Polygon article, Nintendo is the only console maker to do this.
Oh, really? I didn't know the policy because I never pre-ordered digitally before.
Yeah, I have, but I've also have not canceled. So like,
I mean, I pre-ordered
not like attempted to.
I guess.
Well, guess what? The European Union of Consumer Rights Directive, also primarily the Norwegian Consumer Council, is like, this is fucking illegal, Nintendo. You can't be doing this stuff. You can't do this stuff. So, let's see. According to this Polygon article, the Norwegian Consumer Council decried Nintendo's eShop's no cancellation policy in a formal letter sent directly to the company. Pressfire, a local gaming site, reported that it obtained a copy of the letter in which the council asks Nintendo to either clarify how to cancel digital pre-orders or instate a way to do so as soon as possible. Council attached a screenshot from Nintendo's official purchase terms, which state only that all sales are final, including sales of digital software. So,
and then Nintendo responded, the operation of Nintendo Eshop in Europe is fully compliant with European laws relating to the statutory rights of customers. And that's it.
So yeah, basically saying, no, we're not doing anything illegal. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's like the Europeans like, hey, you guys are breaking the rules, and they're like, no, we're not. It's like,
well, that's that.
Okay. All right, because that's
it's still
you sure got us there.
Shitty.
Don't pre-order games, but I mean, don't do things that are illegal in Europe either.
Hey, we all pre-ordered Monster Hunter. What have we done?
Monster Hunter, and that was a great idea. I pre-ordered Dissidia. And let's go to the next.
That was a great idea. Let's go. You can now edit elements of PSN profile via desktop. Very exciting.
So apparently this was a thing that you couldn't do before.
You can't edit your screen name on.
You still can't change your screen name.
Yeah, that's still not.
Yeah, changing. Honestly, I thought initially that this article was about that, and then it wasn't. So fuck this
that
story.
Article is just like, hey,
hey, how about this one? If you were a developer of, say, a flight sim franchise, would you like create anti-piracy, safeguards in your game, which would include malware?
Duh. I mean, okay. Look.
Yes.
This whole thing about like malware being on anti-piracy protection has been going on for years. Back in 2008, back when that Donkey Kong King Kong game came out on PC. Like, there was tons of stuff about this thing called Secure ROM, and it was like the most garbage, trashy thing, and it was like the most pain in the ass to ever install like a PC game to play. You have to restart your computer like 2 or 3 times just to get it to start working. It was freaking ridiculous, and like I don't want to say refreshing, but it's like, we've all come full circle. Like, it's been long enough where we've been hanging out, having a good time on just Steam, that we haven't had to deal with this, that now it's all coming back where, now they're going to put actual, like, garbage into their DRM service.
Yeah, so the aptly named Flight Sim Labs released a statement.
What kind of games do they make?
They release professional flight trainers that are often used by military and commercial aviators.
Okay.
They said, hey, no, they didn't say that. What their actual statement was, this is, let's see, a Reddit report from a user whose personal data has been compromised.
Oh, great.
Wait, hold on.
Well, here's the thing: is they're not making like actual games. They're making add-ons for Flight Simulator, which is a popular Microsoft game where people would just fly like commercial jetliners around and have a good time. But they're making add-ons, and because they don't want people to pirate their add-ons, they've put this sort of ridiculous tool they discovered a tool inside called Chrome Password Dump, hidden inside the installer, which stores the browser's passwords, billing data, and other stuff. And
that's
come on,
fucking
you don't need that
weird.
at all. You don't need that at all. Like, that's way worse than, as I was mentioning before, the Secure ROM, or it wasn't Secure ROM, whatever I called it before. Like, that's way worse than that stuff. That other stuff is just a hassle. This is like legitimately taking your information and sending it to the cloud, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, so the founder, so after some sort of exchange on Reddit between various individuals from Reddit as well as various individuals from the Flight Sim Labs, the founder of Flight Sim Labs, who is not named in this story, says, this was not our intention and we take full responsibility. What we now understand to have been an overly heavy-handed approach to our DRM installer efforts also meant that our support team strictly followed the instruction guidelines without being aware of the inclusion of DRM tools in any of our installs. So,
I mean, it was an accident. Hey, it was all misunderstanding.
I don't not believe them. So, but still, it sucks. Like,
I mean, piracy is. I don't like. I think piracy is bad. I've spoken about it before. Like, if you want to play a game, you should pay for it. If the game is too expensive or made by a shitty company and you don't want to pay them, then don't play the game. But this is not the way to combat piracy. And whether it was a mistake or not, it still is bad. Look, that said, Flight Sim Labs seems like they're making like less game and more almost like commercial training product, which is like almost a different realm of. I mean,
but you don't want people to pirate that though, because then
yes, that is like an expensive piece of software. You don't want to like have people pirate, but no matter what, that's not the solution.
Totally,
this is not the solution to fixing that.
The last story here is basically another installment
of our
Swery update, aka Swery Watch.
Oh, the Swery Saga. Ricardo, have you got the Swery Saga yet?
I have. I'm really shocked that
Swery spent a lot of time charging up every time.
I'm really shocked that Zach died, and he died before, so like
that's it.
Zach
can't come back after that. I noticed that Swery has been training for a while. I'm really hoping that I'm sure that next time on this episode, we'll see what happens as a result of his training. He's on his way.
Do you think he'll blow up the moon this time?
He's on his way, so he's gonna be like I'm sure next episode something will happen with Swery.
So yeah, here's the thing. Motherfucking Swery.
You know him, you love him.
fresh off of being like, hey, I'm gonna give another shot to this The Good Life game.
Kickstarter coming soon
with
March
Kickstarter.
22nd or something. March
It's
16th,
like, hey, you know those Dragon Ball people, Arc System Works?
That's what they're called. They're known as the Dragon Ball people.
Yeah, fuck Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue and all the games that they actually worked really hard on before and have this long pedigree. No, they are now the Dragon Ball people. So Arc System Works is like, hey, Swery, make a game. And he's like, all right. So he's working on a game called... And so he's working on a game now called The Missing.
The Missing.
For Arc System Works. That's basically all.
Is it gonna be a fighting game?
That's basically all right now that you know, other than the statements by Swery in this announcement trailer, in which he's holding a stuffed monkey, and there's another stuffed chimpanzee like ape sitting behind him.
But his studio is called White Owl. Where are the owls?
I don't know. He says the title, The Missing, has many meanings. A missing person? Please hold your applause until he finishes his statement. Okay. A missing person? Someone who's lost, or even something lost. Maybe it's your loved one, or a place you belong. Do you ever feel lost in your everyday life?
Yes.
The missing is for someone like you.
Oh, so it's for millennials. It's for millennials, is what he is.
And then he goes on to add, this title will blow your mind.
Oh, good.
I think it's sick.
I hope it's sick.
I hope it's sick.
Is it a fighting game? Like, does Arc System Works make other games that aren't fighting games? I'm genuinely asking. I don't actually know. I do not
know. We can look this up really quick.
Because this will be like the only game I've heard of, at least, that they've made that's not unless it is a fighting game, unless he's making a fighting game. But
I bet he's making a fighting game.
I guess
a Swery fighting game. Like Swery
All-Stars.
There was a great Twitter Q&A or a question someone asked on Twitter, like, "What are you doing? How can you make 2 games?" He's like, "I make many games. This is how I've done it before." I wish I could find the answer. Let me see if I can find.
I make games all the time. I keep doing it.
Yeah.
So,
like...
Don't question me.
Let's see. They made that new Double Dragon game, apparently. That new bad Double Dragon game.
Oh, they published that, not made it, right?
Oh, it says games developed.
Oh, okay, maybe no. Okay. So
yeah, games developed. It says, I mean, Blaze Blue, X Blaze. I don't know what this game is. This is for PS Vita. I don't know. A lot of undiscernible games, as well as fighting games. So I'm not really sure.
I am looking for Swery's response, but there are two. He is on Twitter too often to find.
So, as we probably say every other episode, good luck, Swery.
Hey, listen, Swery is awesome, and we say every episode that he is on that we mention him. I think Swery is great, and I love him.
Do not spoil Twin Peaks.
I wish him only the best, and that he keeps getting paid money to make games, no matter what.
And go Boston, go!
Go Boston, go! I hope this game is good. If it is good and not a fighting game, then I will play it.
What if it's a fighting game? Would you play it, Matt?
Oh, here we go. Here's the. If it's good and a fighting game, it would have to have like a really good story or something like that, and be really easy to play. Because I am bad at it's not even that I don't think that fighting games are bad. I am bad at fighting games, and I don't get enjoyment out of playing them myself. So it's like, it's just not fun to me. It's like, I don't know. It's like if I was gonna play ice hockey, like it's just not. I don't find it enjoying. Okay. So like, I just wouldn't play it.
So the ice hockey has to have a good story.
If ice hockey had a good story, then man, then I would be there.
Let's talk about wrestling. So
yeah, wrestling's bad as well. No, wait, Ethan. If you like wrestling, then you'll love DBZ because
it's very close. That's very similar things.
How is it on? Is it like Lucha Underground?
It's like the Japanese wrestling.
Like Lucha Underground. Yeah. I mean, I would
It's
say
goofy. It's real goofy.
It's a little bit more verbose than like say New Japan, but I'd say it's probably closer to Lucha Underground. Have you been watching Lucha Underground? Quick aside, have you been watching Lucha Underground?
No, but I want to. It's on Netflix.
It's
right?
on Netflix. Just
Yeah,
watch
I
it.
need to watch it.
Guys, here is the tweet I was looking for. Madness 1660 says, "Can you really juggle 2 games at once and still have the same sweary quality for both?" Sad face emoji. And then Swery65 responds with, he quoted this tweet and responded with, "Haha, absolutely. I am doing this style 2 or 3 project at the same time since 2008. That is, both Deadly Premonition and D4 are included in that way. I am Swery!" All caps.
You know what? That's all I need to know. I am Swery.
I am the Swery.
All right, guys. Before we go into the last segment,
let's hear it.
Let's do some hot.
Also, Madness responded and saying, "I'm sorry, I lacked faith. Forgive me for I have sinned." And then Swery said, "No, everyone has no sin. I am just out of common sense."
What
So, okay, just Swery is forgiving. Swery will forgive you for your sins.
Our Lord and Savior Swery.
Ethan, do you have some kind of breaking news story?
Brand
or
new
what
news. The DICE Awards have been happening
Oh,
while we've been
God.
recording this. What do you think is their game of the year?
Breath of the Wild.
Got it! Alright, what do you think is
say,
the outstanding achievement in game direction?
Breath of the Wild.
Got it! What do you think is their outstanding achievement in game design?
Breath of the Wild.
You got it! What is their immersive reality technical achievement?
I swear to God.
Arms.
No.
Dang it.
WWE 2K18.
Breath of the Wild.
No.
It's not Breath of the Wild?
Not Breath of the Wild.
VR. Horizon.
Matt's close. Matt's close.
Doom VFR.
Nope.
VR chat.
Wolfenstein 2.
Nope,
Wolfenstein 2.
That's not true. No.
Then what the fuck? How is it close?
It's
super hot.
No, he said it was VR. It's Lone Echo Arena. Immersive reality game of the year.
VR.
Close.
Breath of the Wild.
No. Do it before. What do we have before?
Doom
VR.
No, what before?
Doom
Super
No,
hot.
it wasn't Doom.
Horizon Zero
No,
Dawn.
it wasn't Horizon.
Resident Evil 7
No,
in
it
VR.
wasn't Horizon VR. Resident Evil, man. It was Lone Echo Arena. And one again.
Lone Echo
All right,
VR.
What is the mobile game of the year?
VR.
No.
Samsung phone on your face.
Puzzle Fighter.
No.
Clash of Clans.
No.
Reigns.
Clash Royale. Reigns Her Majesty.
No.
Fucking that's fucking 80 days.
The Valley of the Kingdom
Nope.
Valley. Kingdom Valley
Nope.
2. XCOM 2 on
Pokemon
iPad.
Go.
Nope.
That wasn't last year.
Fucking Kobe. Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle.
No.
Age
All right,
of
you guys are
War.
done.
Age of War.
Final Fantasy Arena
No.
of Valor.
Stop, guys. Stop it. It was.
Please.
Animal Crossing.
You're close, Matt.
Pocket Camp.
We're close but wrong.
Oh, Mitomo.
Fire
It was
Emblem.
No,
Mitomo.
it's not me. Tomo came out a year ago. You stupid idiot.
Fire Emblem Heroes.
There you go. You got it, Ricardo. Thank you.
That was it?
Yep, that
That
was
was
it.
What a
Good.
fucking piece of shit.
You already played that game. I think it was pretty good. All right. Handheld game of the year.
Monster Hunter Generation.
No.
Madden 2018.
Nope.
Best game featuring Black Operations.
Uh,
Fucking Mario and Luigi.
No.
Super Dog Saga.
Kirby, the one that came out for 3DS. That one.
No.
Planet Robobot.
No.
Motherfucking Pokemon Sun
No.
and Moon.
No.
Ultimate
It's
Gold
on
Edition.
3DS.
It's not for DS.
No, it is for 3DS.
Oh.
Pokemon.
No.
Something happened. Metroid, Samus's girl.
They almost got it, Ricardo. You're so close.
This whole podcast has gone 100% off the rails.
Exactly. I love
The
it.
last 30 minutes have been
Metroid,
the
Samus
nose-
returns.
You got it, Ricardo. You win. All right.
Metroid, Samus has boobs.
What if Metroid was a girl?
All right.
This whole podcast.
All
right.
We're nosedive
All right. I'm
fully
gonna go
into the
through these.
ravine.
Y'all ain't gonna guess because y'all
Just
suck.
lean into
All
it.
right. Dice Spirit Award goes to Snipper Clips.
Okay, great game.
Great game. Outstanding Achievement in Online Play goes to PUBG. Strategy Simulation Game of the Year goes to Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, fine.
Sports Game of the Year, FIFA 18, as usual. Role-Playing Game of the Year, Nier Automata. Bonus note, I heard nobody was there to accept the award.
They're like, we're not gonna win.
We're not gonna win. Racing Game of the Year, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Fighting Game of the Year, Injustice 2. Family Game of the Year, Snipper Clips. Adventure Game of the Year, the
Snipper Clips.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Wait a minute.
Never heard of it.
Wait a minute.
What?
Injustice 2 overtaken 7?
Look,
Fuck
man.
these awards.
Yeah, all right. You're right. Actually,
Ricardo, I just realized behind you you have your Nicolas Cage sheet, and it's like perfectly in frame in the Twitch chat too. It's very, very nicely framed.
Not
there.
planned at all.
Not at all. Hard playing.
Adventure Game of the Year, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Action Game of the Year, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. Outstanding Technical Achievement.
Was there a rule that only 3 games could win any of the awards?
No, here's a new one.
all
Outstanding
year
Technical Achievement, Horizon Zero Dawn. Outstanding Achievement in Story, Horizon Zero Dawn, which I don't agree with at all.
That is
I was ready for Nier.
I know.
Outstanding Achievement in Story, freaking Horizon Zero Dawn?
Outstanding Achievement in Sound Design.
No, wait, let's go back to that. That
Okay.
story is garbage. That story's not good.
It's not
that
that
story's
good.
bad.
It has Ashley Birch.
It's not a great story. It's okay. It's good, but it's not that great. Outstanding Achievement in Sound Design, Super Mario Odyssey. Outstanding Achievement in Original Music Composition, Cuphead. Totally agree with that. Outstanding Achievement, nope. Outstanding Achievement in Character, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, Senua. Okay. Outstanding Achievement in Art Direction, Cuphead. Outstanding Achievement in Animation, Cuphead.
Okay.
That's all fair. That all checks out. The story one is probably the only one I'm like, I don't think so.
Game.
Family, I don't think so, guys. And Mobile Game of the Year is probably not the right one either. But
Family game, I mean, Snipper Clips is pretty great, so.
Snipper Clips is good.
All
right, enough of that.
Enough of that.
Let's
Moving
go to
on.
that trailer trash. Get this podcast wrapped up.
Dang on, get the Pixar Pierce coming, get her done.
Hey, did you see a new update? They're getting rid of Cove Bar, dude. Cove Bar's getting axed.
Well, yeah, it's going into California Adventure right now is kind of a little bit depressing because so much of it is like
construction.
Construction.
They're also getting rid of Aladdin's Oasis in Disneyland.
Yes,
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in so long.
Well,
previous to this podcast, my Disneyland buddy Albert sent me a thing of like what they're planning to put in place of Aladdin's Oasis.
What is it?
It's like
It's
a
like
sit-down
some
restaurant.
Star Wars? More Star Wars?
No, it's a
No.
sit-down like Polynesian restaurant or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you get the weird like? Listen, guys, Disneyland's awesome, and it's not gonna stop being awesome just because of stuff like this. But do you get like a weird feeling that like Disney is very much like, what topical thing can we stuff in Disneyland right now to like make it hot? Like, I kind of get this weird like.
Go.
I was gonna say the thing that weirds me out more is like riding Jungle Cruise now and being like, that's kind of weird though. Like native people attack you. Like I don't know. That's kind of like a strange.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. But I see what you're saying, Matt. In that, like, I don't have a problem with a lot of the like, you know, things that they kind of bring into the parks like temporarily and kind of like you know, and then like for whatever topical thing is coming out.
Yeah,
that's fine. But it's like, and as much as I love the ride, the fact that like there is now a ride that will stand presumably for years and years of Guardians of the Galaxy in Disney's California Adventure just feels kind of weird. Like, it feels like that is not going to have the same timeless quality as a lot of other things.
Here's another thing that I thought of.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Ethan.
Someone alerted me to the video I completely forgot of. Is before the Monsters Inc. ride in California Adventure, there was this ride called like Hollywood Walk of Fame or something like that, and you would sit in the limo.
Wait, is a Monsters Inc. ride?
Yeah, it's a Monsters Inc. ride.
Mike and Sully to the rescue.
It's not that great.
Oh, I think I've been on it once.
I like it just because I like to drive past Mike Wazowski and say, "You're green with it."
That's good, and also like the sushi area smells like ginger, which was very nice.
Yeah, that's really nice.
But the one thing, before that, it lasted for I think like 9 months. It was this Hollywood Walk of Fame type thing, where you're supposed to be in a limo. And you drive around and you meet like Regis Philbin, Kathy Griffin, like all sorts of celebrities back in the early 2000s that appeared.
No one's claiming that California Adventure itself was well thought out.
Oh, I know, but like that just freaking blows my mind that thing exists. Like you meet Aerosmith, like you meet all these different like random ass celebrities in this weird.
Man, it's like who we could afford the ride,
and it's like that won't. You think about it, like when they thought about it, they're like, this won't be dated at all ever, and it's like it's the same thing. Like at least Guardians of the Galaxy is a movie that kind of stays a little bit. Sure, it might get dated more so than something timeless like Pinocchio or something like that, but like
the thing is that like a lot of the rides that are timeless in Disneyland were established well after the things were timeless.
That's true.
Yeah, like a lot of them, right? Like not all of them, but like the Indiana Jones ride came out in like the 90s. Like well after Indiana Jones had been established as a classic, you know what I mean? It wasn't like Indiana Jones came out and like 3 years later they were like, well, we gotta put a ride in here, like it was like even that one, and that's like one of the newest rides in Disneyland proper sort of thing, you know what I mean? Like the idea of stuffing like a terrible Jack Sparrow into like every aspect of Pirates of the Caribbean that we can, and like let's stuff Star Wars in there and Marvel.
Johnny Depp doesn't do anything bad.
Yeah. Where is all the rum? The things I do remember from before we finally get to the fucking end of this podcast.
What?
The things I remember this podcast that remember from like my first time going to California Adventure that seem weird thinking about now is Goofy Sky School was that Midtown Madness.
Mulholland Madness.
That was
Mulholland Madness. There was a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire stage show where you could like participate.
Oh man, yeah, I remember that.
In the studio, which I think eventually became Aladdin, and then eventually became Frozen. I think that was all the same.
I think that's
the same thing.
I think that's a track record. The Frozen show's not bad, by the way.
The what?
The Frozen show is not bad.
I haven't seen it. I saw the Aladdin show with you, right?
Yeah.
It's
similar production values. It's not bad. It's not as good, but it's not bad.
Obviously the Muppets is gone, which I'm very sad. The Muppets.
Is it really
3D...
gone, or is it just like they just people putting it on a hiatus?
No, they always put it's now like a preview theater. Like I think there's like a Wrinkle in Time thing there right now. Yeah. What was the last thing? Oh yeah, the Maliboomer was one of the rides on the
R.I.P. dude.
Yeah, that was actually a good ride too. So
that was like the up and down ride, right?
Screen, but it shot you.
I always hate that.
It had like a weird cone, like
vomit shield
around your head. Yeah, that was weird. Anyway, yeah, California Adventure. It's changing.
It's a weird thing.
Change, yeah.
All right, but you know what's not changing is early access games coming out with trailers.
You know what's not changing is we already did trailer trash, so I guess I can't say that again. All right, man, this podcast has gone long. We have digressed. Take a week off, and this is what happens.
Hey, man, you gotta catch up.
As long as it needs to be. That's what she said. Hunt Showdown official early access launch trailer. Do you like trailers about compelling gameplay and features of your game that are distracted by the fact that there are weird people talking over it?
I love those trailers.
Yeah, I don't know, like this game looks really, really cool, but then there's also like weird soft-spoken British people talking like over the top of this trailer, and also people being like, Oh, I'm gonna bring the dynamite.
Are you gonna bring the shotgun?
Are you gonna bring
Yeah.
the?
Oh, watch out! Watch out! There's a guy behind us.
There's like two of them following us. Yeah. This game looks cool though. This is we've taken a look at this one already before, and now it's officially out in early access.
Yeah, so before it was in closed beta, so I bet that's where they got a lot of footage from. So now, and you know, they gave it to hit streamers. So now it's like you can go buy it for $30, I believe, off Steam. And honestly, even with that like crappy shoutcasting, it still looked like a pretty interesting game. Like a game I'm really like, I don't know, it's a really neat concept, and the graphics are really good, and it's like straight up like just a shooter, but with like loot, and I'm like, I don't know, it seems pretty good. I don't know.
It looks real cool. It's like they really push the element of like permadeath, but then there's also like some kind of like loot grinding situation where you're taking in equipment that you earn from previous hunts to go in, but then I don't know how the permadeath stuff works or how a lot of it works. But...
I looked at the Steam page, and it seems to be like if you die, you take your experience points over to the next character that you get. But if you do not die and survive the whole hunt situation, then you get to take your experience points and like any items you found and any upgrades you got and carry those over. So like you'll always get some kind of progress. But
that makes sense.
But if you don't die, you'll get like more and better loot to transfer over, kind of thing.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm interested. I don't know if $30 is enough to get me in unless I get like a squad of 4 people together.
Yeah. Definitely, obviously seems like a game.
It's a squads of 2. It's 2 people.
Oh, really?
There you go.
Oh, me and Matt, me and you, bro, we can go in.
Yeah, it's
Low barrier
$30.
for entry.
$30 on Steam right now.
$30
For squads of 2. I'm not opposed to that, Matt. That'd be pretty fun.
All right.
All right, I'll do it.
We'll talk.
Right.
We'll talk next week.
We'll talk.
Besides the fact that this is on PC, I would not play it because there's a scary spider in this trailer.
Those spiders look pretty gross.
A scary spider. I like the monster treatment in this game. It's like not. It feels very American in a weird way to say. Like I don't want to be like I don't want to. That's a weird connotation to make, but.
I see what you're saying though. Like
it takes place in this swamp. It feels very like folk tale-y. There's always like, oh, it's a vampire, or oh, it's a mummy. It's like this is like a weird like zombie thing, but it has like corpse like flesh coming out of it. Like it's like kind of swampy and I don't know. It's hard to explain.
It feels like obviously like all the characters you're playing as are very Western-y in a way. There's a lot of 6-shooters and double-barrel shotguns and like repeating rifles shown off in this trailer. But also it's just like I don't know if I guess mundane is not the word, but it is a situation where it is like the monster they're hunting in this is a giant spider, and it's not like it's a giant spider like terrorizing a major city or whatever. It's just this giant insect that is in this kind of rundown, broken down, like mill area, and it does feel very much like an American folktale, or like heading out in like the wilderness and like, oh, be careful out there. There's some mean critters out there or whatever, and it's cool. I like the treatment. Does feel very like baked into what the environment is, as opposed to being like more high fantasy or even like high fantasy, or like even like a Monster Hunter situation where it is like just basically variations on this big lizard or big dragon type creature.
Yeah, for sure.
Past Cure. This game was described as, Matt, I think while we were watching it, as very high low budget, or high budget low budget.
That's what I said. I don't know. Like Ethan, maybe you disagree because you said like you thought it looked good, but like I was like, there's like highly detailed art, but like everything else about it like the way they move.
The
and
models look really good.
lip
The animation
sync,
is
like,
bad.
Yeah,
it's but it is also like very weirdly like 60 FPS animation where it all looks very like smooth.
Yeah, it's
but,
really hard to
like,
describe in a.
I like it though. I like the way it looks.
It's also harder to gauge what exactly this game is about from this trailer. I believe this is another one we've taken at least one look at, and this time it's harder to tell exactly what is going on. Some kind of psychological horror going on.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Some sort of horror game for sure.
It also looks okay, but again, I think that weird balancing of the high budget, low budget is going to be
detrimental.
Kind of the whether you can get over the way that this game looks or like feels is going to be the barrier for entry. It seems like.
Yeah. Next we have Pit People. Man, this trailer. Ricardo loved this trailer.
Fucking, hey, you want to see the updates that this game went through? Here it is.
Nothing.
But not like actually showing you what the updates did. Literally just posters on the wall as this guy with the picket fence runs up a staircase and is like, hey, this is what all the updates did. And now the game is going to come out.
World Tour. Some other stuff. Yeah, it's not great. It's not a great trailer, I'll be honest. Especially as someone who, like, I saw a bit of Pit People, but I didn't fully understand it. It's done by Behemoth.
This is the Behemoth, yeah.
Yeah, which they make pretty good games. But
Castle Crashers, Alien Hominid,
and
Battle Block Theater.
That's not bad. Yeah, and they made Pit People, and that's the new one. But yeah, they didn't seem to really sell us on that one trailer where it's just like,
not with this trailer.
We did stuff. Now it's out of early access. To be fair, there's a nice way to be like, okay, we're out of early access. It's at 100% now. We're done. Like, I
yeah,
like
it definitely
games,
feels
like,
more
finally...
aimed at people who have actually been following the Pit People saga.
And I like that people actually like
hasn't been
finish the game.
Like...
You know, it's like, oh, we're done now. We're done. We can finish it and go to bed now. The game is over. We've completed it.
So Swinyu. Yeah. This was not much of a trailer, but was a pretty cool trailer.
Like, nothing to see.
Yeah. But what was a decent trailer was for Trailblazers.
Yeah,
this is
pretty cool.
This is a cooperative racing game in which you play as cars.
Or it can be cooperative. I don't think it necessarily has to be.
Yeah.
But...
it's like Wipeout mixed with F-Zero.
It's Wipeout, F-Zero, and a little bit of Splatoon, because the basic concept here is that you're playing as these kind of like high-speed vehicles that can paint the track with a certain color and then leave that trail behind, and then when you then go back over said trail, you gain a boost. So similar to like F-Zero when you're driving through the little power lanes, you're gaining boost. So that's kind of where I guess the cooperative element would come in, whereas say you are painting the track in front of your teammates and then they're using it to boost up to you and doing stuff like that. And it looked cool.
It looks cool. It has a lot of like nice features in it, like local online co-op.
Yeah, which is a cool feature. A lot of games don't do that these days. And it has a decent little art style to it. It looks cool, very kind of like Hot Wheels-y.
Micro Machines type, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested. Don't know what platforms it's coming out
on.
It
literally does not show on this trailer what the platforms are. I'd assume Steam. I think that's a safe bet. But who knows what else. Burnout Paradise.
Down to the Paradise City.
Where the thing is things and the girls are pretty. Never do please crash my
Just gonna replay the whole trailer for us.
Yeah.
I mean, Burnout Paradise. I had
this game.
I had this game on Xbox 360. I loved it. I think this is a really fun game. It's coming. It's coming out again, remastered, HD, all the good shit that the people look for when they're like, "Hey,
all that DLC, boy."
Yeah, all the DLC is coming out. It's also $40.
I think 30 would have been a good compromise. 40 is like...
I think 20 would have been how much you should actually
I don't know.
ask.
If you're adding all the DLC and it's got all that up-res stuff, like, I don't know.
I guess.
Like, 40 is like, okay, we're Shadow Colossus. We made a bunch of changes. This one's just like, it's up-res. I don't know.
It definitely feels like it was a very, like, let's say the publishers of this game, Electronic Arts, realize that they can make a few more dollars by saying, like, hey, that demand for Burnout to come back is here.
Let's not bring it back.
Maybe let's bump it. Let's like do the game that everybody liked like best, or most people like best. I think a lot of people also like Burnout.
The one before this one.
Burnout,
I don't know.
Yeah. 3 was a good one, and the one that came out in 360, the first one. Shoot, I can't think of it. Takedown, I think is what it's called. Burnout Takedown. I really like Takedown.
Let's do the one that a lot of people liked, and then
the most famous, like the most famously liked one.
The last one.
And also probably let's like charge like probably like $15 more for it than we probably should. But
it's backwards compatible too, which is funny because I just started playing it on my Xbox. Because I was like, oh, I have this game.
EA is having a big sale right now, man. You can get Battlefront 2 for half off.
Oh my God, worth it. Hey,
it might be $20 for Battlefront.
You can get Battlefield 1 for $10. It's not bad.
Battlefront.
I think we're all ready for the return of DJ Atomica.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
talking about Los. Wait, whatever the city that Skate takes place in.
Paradise City.
Because he makes mentions of that. And also, hey, wait a minute. Does that mean Skate 4 is coming?
Skate 4?
Skate 4 is coming? No, it's not. So yeah, this is, hey, it's Burnout Paradise. Dead Maze. This is the Sims
MMO
zombie
hideout zombie game.
Flash.
Don't Starve.
Maple City.
It's
Maple Story.
Maple Story. That's the one.
Maple Story.
At first I was like, whatever, this is like some sort of like Don't Starve zombie thing with like a bunch of people in it. But then like I saw the house building elements and I was like, oh, they went all the way on that. They really leaned into those house building elements.
Yeah,
and
the
I'm
last
like,
half of this is all like them showing off. Look at this guy building this house, walls, furniture. He's got it all. Also, there are zombies outside, maybe. Hey, play Dead Maze.
It doesn't look bad, honestly. Like, there's also a shot of like 1,000 people like in a freaking one scene, which seems pretty cool. But I like the house building aspect. I've always been a sucker for that sort of thing.
It is just ugly.
You don't like the art style?
Thing. The art style looks bad.
It's not the greatest. It just looks very ho hum, sort of like basic Flash type game. Yeah, I agree with that.
Hack Tag. This looked really cool until it didn't. No, I'm joking. The trailer for this, I think, almost weirdly does the game a disservice because I think the first half of it. So basically, what Hack Tag is that you play as a team of 2, I believe.
Yeah, one person is a hacker and one person is a field operative,
like a thief. Like a cat burglar kind of
but guy. A cat, but actually a real cat.
But like a real cat.
But like a real cat. Like a cat person, a cat who has a human body, but cat ears and a tail.
Stop it.
And maybe...
Just too sexy to imagine.
Maybe the curves of a real human.
Nice.
So yeah, so this looked really cool. It was showing all the mechanics of how, like, you know, one player would be disabling alarm systems and locks while the other one would have to get on the other end and, you know, do their own thing and kind of actually be in danger of like sneaking past guards and security cameras and stuff like that. And then it was like, hey, let's show people
some
playing.
streamers.
and being like, "Oh, I am excited playing the game. Aren't you? Wouldn't this make you more excited to be like, hey, this is playing the game?"
And I was like, not really.
I don't know. It's such a weird, like,
that's a weird trend that's been coming up. Like that's one thing
weird...
that we've been noticing is a lot of like trailers in the last year have been coming up with Twitch streamers thrown into the game. And
like I remember one of the first ones I saw was when I think it was this last E3 after Battlefield.
Sea of Thieves did it. Like 2 years ago, year ago, I can't remember which one it was, but Sea of Thieves definitely did. Like
I remember during last E3 after Battlefield 1 had already come out, EA had a whole trailer for like, oh, this is Battlefield 1. People have been loving it. Here's people loving it, and it showed like shoutcasters like doing like playing Battlefield 1.
EA loved that. They had Battlefront. They did that for Battlefront 2. They did that for Battlefield. They did that for another random game that I don't think has been mentioned since that press conference. But it was like the entire thing was like shoutcasted.
The Vision was originally like that.
It's that was Ubisoft, but
but it's still just something that like it's just a trend that people have been doing.
But like the Division was not like here's this Twitch streamer. It was at least I mean the Division was like bad, but it was like here are people playing the game that are definitely not actors. But this is like
my thing about that. My thing about that is like it's a weird situation where it's like marketers saying people love watching Twitch streams, people love watching Let's Plays. Let's just put those in the trailer because that'll make the game seem more appealing, as opposed to like
I remember
them not really understand.
I know, but I remember the first
why people watch Let's Plays and watch Twitch streams and stuff.
I don't think it's that. I mean, I don't think it's that. Like honestly, like I mean, as much as I think it's dumb and stupid, it's the exact same reason that you have frickin' Peyton Manning in a Papa John's commercial. It's like, why is Peyton Manning going to sell me pizza? He doesn't know anything about pizza. It doesn't matter. He's just a famous person, right? You know him, therefore you want to buy our thing, right?
See,
that's how it works. It's why you have sexy ladies shipping Age of War, Game of Destruction, or whatever it's called. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It's just like, you recognize person, you buy our thing. Like,
see, I disagree with you. I think the idea of having the Twitch streamers is showing like, hey, look how much fun these two Twitch streamers are having together. Maybe you can have that exact same amount of fun.
That's the thing, is like, I didn't recognize any, granted, I'm not like a huge, like, I have the people I watch on Twitch and I follow on Twitch and stuff, but like, I'm not a huge like Twitch person. To me, again, it was like them trying to capture that feeling of that was a Let's Play or a Twitch stream of like, look at people having fun. This is what you like, right? Watching people have fun.
One of my favorite trailers of all time was this EVE Online trailer where they showed, because EVE Online's not like the most beautiful game. It looks cool, but in the end, it just looks like spreadsheets.
It's the beautiful game.
It's the beautiful game.
It's like soccer.
They had this trailer where they had all these different clans, like voice chats from Ventrell as they logged in, like, hey, can we use this footage of people like actually coordinating attacks and stuff, and it's really effective in showing like how that feels when you're in those like huge battles and like trying to coordinate all these ridiculous things with like just millions of people playing at this, particular node. And I felt that's a great way to capture it. But ever since I've seen that, like people have been doing it on like a much smaller scale of just like, hey, here's the feeling we're going to give you. You have to work for it, or you have to find this other person to play with you, or you have to get like this corporation to help play with you in EVE Online's example. And in this one, it's like, hey, you better play this with another friend because, like, look how much fun they're having. That's what I feel it is. I feel like it's trying to capture that feeling that that game is going for. Because EVE Online is all about playing with your corporations and having fun, tackling, like, massive intergalactic space battles.
Corporations are fun.
Corporations are fun. And then in this, it's like, hey, this game is fun because one person's a freaking hacker and one person is walking around the ground, So I see why they're doing it. I just don't think it works for me. I think the trailer is much stronger for me without that.
Yeah,
me too.
I agree. Fully agree. The Metal Gear Survive.
Oh,
Did this trailer work for anybody?
Nope. I see why it has so many thumbs down on YouTube. So many thumbs down.
To me, I still actually am very, very curious about this game. To me, it seems interesting.
I honestly don't think the graphics look very good. It looks to me like
it almost looks like it's a $40 game.
Yeah, but like the engine is like, you know, it's
the same engine.
It's the same engine.
Box engine.
What is that? What is that game that came out a couple years ago? It was free to play by Suda51.
Let It Die.
Yeah, Let It Die.
Let It Die.
That's what it
Yeah,
feels
with
like
Uncle
to me.
Death.
It does look very Let It Die. Uncle Dad, hey, what's up, man?
Where it's like everything is very blah looking. It's got that
game.
kind of like overlay of looking very grim, realistic feel.
Gritty, yeah.
Well, the funny thing is that I think this trailer looks worse than the actual game. Like, if you guys actually seen the gameplay footage from the game itself, like the Quick Click on Giant Bomb shows it. It looks like Metal Gear Solid 5.
Okay.
Like when you're. I mean, I think this trailer looks not that great. Like, playing the game itself looks like Metal Gear Solid 5 and all of that, the weaknesses that come with that, of like the third person combat not being the best, but like it's kind of, you know, playing pretty decently. But I don't know, like, this doesn't seem like a very Metal Gear game. I was saying to you guys before the podcast started, I can't believe a Metal Gear game came out with like zero pomp, with like zero announcement. Yes, I mean they announced it earlier. Like we've seen at least a couple trailers for it at this point.
Been some betas, yeah.
But just like it just released this week, and none of us in the podcast knew about it until after it. Yeah, like there'd been like no lead up. It just out kind of thing, and it seems like a mod for Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, it has a lot of the same vehicles from Metal Gear Solid 5. It has like the same background tech, like all the the environment that you're in looks like Afghanistan from Metal Gear Solid 5, just kind of like added on. So yeah, it doesn't look good to me, but and this trailer doesn't really, I think this trailer, like, ironically, I've seen like footage of the game and it doesn't look very good, and this trailer makes it look worse than the actual game made it look, if that makes any sense.
I think the Let It Die comparison is astute, though, just from the standpoint of it being like there's these weird zombies that are not quite zombies in this kind of overly grim and gritty thing, but whereas that was like played for more laughs, this is
100%
like,
serious. Yeah,
taking it so like. I was listening to the Bombcast today, and I don't know if you talked about this already, Matt, but like,
yeah, I was mentioning, but go ahead.
Just like how in depth and weirdly like story driven the game is,
at least the beginning, and then it dumps you into just like a bunch of text cutscenes after that. Apparently, like, weird. Yeah, and the thing is that like do you like missions where the mission is almost all the missions of the game are go to this thing and now defend this thing, and like waves of zombies will come and try to kill the thing, and then you have to kill that. Would you like? Would you like almost every mission in the game to be one of those? Because that sounds like a lot of the missions in the game are one of those.
Yeah, I love it. I want it.
Bring friends though. Bring friends.
It's not a co-op game. You can play multiplayer in a multiplayer mode, but it's not a like.
Oh, that's dumb. I don't want to play this game anymore.
It's not a co-op game.
Okay, then never mind.
It's a game where there's a multiplayer mode, but it's not like a co-op game. Yeah.
I don't like it. Abandoned Ship.
Abandoned Ship is a game that Ethan put on the list that he said looks like FTL but with boats.
And you know what? It does.
It does.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to tell, but yeah, it kind of looks like that. It looks like
you got the crew management. You have to send them like, hey, man the cannons. Hey, jump off the boat because it's gonna sink. Oh no, it's sinking. Oh, we're in a canoe. Ah, it's gonna do boat.
That was interesting to me, is that when the ship sunk, they were in a lifeboat, and I was like, then what? I'm interested to know, like, then what happens? Like, do you get a boat back, or like,
then what?
I don't know. This game is new, or just came out on early access, and I'm really interested in it because I love FTL. It's one of my favorite roguelites.
FTL is such a. Remember when all three of us were like obsessed with FTL?
Yeah,
it's a great game.
Back in the day, that was
fantastic. And like no other roguelite has really scratched that same itch for me
Rogue Legacy really hit me in the same way.
Rogue Legacy is cool, but it's a single player type, like you're playing one person, but like that management aspect of like managing different people and getting cool people on board, like that part was always so appealing to me in FTL. And seeing this in like a pirate format is pretty cool. Although it doesn't seem as clean, But maybe it's just because the trailer's not that great. Like it looks, when this Kraken takes down the ship, it's like super framey.
I mean, everything on this trailer seems slow motion. I was saying like everything seems slow, and you guys are like, oh well, pirate combat was kind of slow, and I mean, no, I don't mean like that. I mean like
speed.
Like things
Time
don't
is
look
moving
like
slower.
yeah, like the waves are moving slowly. Like nothing seems like it's moving very fast. I was like, oh wait, and then you got to the end and you were like, oh, it's framey, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I mean. Like everything is like moving at like 15 frames a second.
Yeah,
yeah,
a little rough. But I am excited to. I kind of want to check this out. I might actually give this a little early access money, depending on. I might look up some more reviews, but like, just gotta see how it is. Give it some early access money. But I might. I don't know, man. Matt, we gotta give that money to the hunt, maybe. That early access money.
yeah. Let's talk about what wins trailer trash, and then we'll talk about the hunt. The thing is, the hunt. Here's my conundrum, guys.
Yes.
I don't like stupid voiceovers of people talking in my trailer, and I think that was, and I agree with Ricardo earlier, that was super distracting. But I think of these trailers, the hunt was the one that convinced me the most that I wanted to play this game. What I mean, do you guys have a one that you think was better? Because like I'm happy to hear a suggestion.
I personally think
Tag was pretty good, but I had the same problem.
Tag looked cool. Trailblazers looked cool, but didn't have any.
Yeah, I honestly thought Trailblazers was kind of my favorite one, just because it seemed like such a cool concept to me.
I just didn't think that game looked good. I don't like the way that game looks.
Really? Oh, I think that game looks pretty cool.
I think it's a game from 2007. Like it looks like a game that's like, we've got HD graphics now. We don't know how to animate them, but they look HD. Like,
well, who knows how far along it is?
It's true. Like. It looks like it's a small game. It looks like it's not a big development, so I'm not trying to be insulting. It just looks weird to me. I can't.
I like the style of it.
Oh wait, no, I'm not thinking of Trailblazers. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of. I was thinking Past Cure.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Trailblazers is cool. I like Trailblazers. I agree. Sorry, there's a lot of games. There's a lot of games this time.
I was like, the graphics didn't look like amazing, but they looked all right. Like
there's a lot of games this time, guys. I apologize.
Fine style. I don't know.
Trailblazers. I agree. Let's go with Trailblazers.
Trailblazers. Yeah, the game was pretty cool.
Splatoon driving.
All right, Trailblazers are the winner this week of our trailer trash segment, and that finally wraps up this Pixel podcast, which has gone over 2 hours, which is a lot of Monster Hunter talk and a lot of Dragon Ball Z talk. Really slowed this episode down.
And
then a lot of anime, basically.
California adventure talk.
It's a lot of anime, basically.
A lot of animation
on all fronts. We apologize for this podcast, everyone. But if you enjoyed this podcast somehow and you want to check out more, please subscribe on iTunes and check out our website, pixellegends.com with 1L. We have a Twitter account, pixel_legends, and our YouTube page is Pixel Legends as well. Check us out. We got our video archives on Twitch. We got our video archives on YouTube. No, we don't. Do we? I can't remember, Ethan. Do we? Yeah, we do. They're on YouTube. You can check out our podcast on YouTube if you want to watch the live video. And we have some other videos on there as well, some live streams. Ethan's been streaming some Monster Hunter. Ricardo's been streaming some Monster Hunter. I've been in some of those streams sometimes. And you can check that out. We've probably been playing a lot of that recently, but maybe Ethan and I will be playing some other games like...
No, we'll just play Monster Hunter.
I'm probably not playing the Monster Hunter. But we thank you all for listening. We appreciate it. Give us a review on iTunes. Like I said, subscribe. With that, it's time for us to end this overly long podcast.
Bye.
Yeah.